Oh, let me put my costume on. There we go.
Tight.
Right? You can share it to Facebook. Hey guys, I made a podcast 2 years ago. Check it out. We're live. This deal right here is
Got it.
By the way, does everybody's headphones sound great?
Mine sound awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, sounds like you added more bass to my voice, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Oi.
Did it pop?
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah. Did it hurt?
No.
It didn't hurt?
No.
Okay, so I can only hear from my right headphone. So if I keep looking to my right when you, Jake, speak, then that's why. Welcome to my testimony, where I feel like a game show host today because I'm wearing a suit. Welcome. We have our two contestants. We have Jake Barreth. Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm. Nailed it.
And then Bennett. Bennett Woods.
Hello.
And yours truly, Clark Kent. So we all have black hair. It's one thing we have in common.
Yep.
Why did I invite you, Bennett?
What do I think you invited me?
Why do you think that I invited you?
I think we had good banter. Felt like we were having a solid conversation at Hawaiian Bros that day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we were able to have a discussion about some pretty tumultuous things.
Yeah.
And I respect that, and hopefully, that's a thing that we can continue.
We can roll into that too.
Yeah.
Jake, why did I invite you? I actually told you precisely why I invited you, so
You did?
this is actually a test, and
Was
if
I
you
listening?
don't pass, you're out of here.
Oh, okay.
You have failed flight school.
Got it. Well, that's all right. I can sweep the floors. Why did you invite me?
Yeah.
Because you said it was election week, and you wanted kind of my perspective on things leading up to the election. Nailed
That's
it.
right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, you got a C+, but that's passing.
Yeah.
Caesar in degrees, baby.
Yeah. So it's now November 1st, and November 3rd we have our. It's so weird. I just looking down, I see the suit, and I think that I'm like, and then I've got two guests today. This is like not normal. Normally it's just one person.
Yeah.
So like there's like this entertainment side. You ever find that whenever like you're talking to more than just one person, is that there's like this, you feel like there must be like some kind of entertainment that feeds into it.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm going to try to like push that aside and like try to actually have a conversation with you guys.
Great.
It's really difficult though. It seems like I'm doing it all over again. Remember my testimony episode? You guys don't, but I do. And it was really, really kind of tough. Or I guess just the first time I ever did an interview. Anyway, so Jake, you lived in the UK.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you saw the political climate there.
Yeah, I did.
From the 80s to the 90s. 90s to the...
Yep, 80s and 90s. So
Okay.
I lived in the UK. I mean, I was a kid, so I mean, I observed it through the lens of a kid. But yeah, so when I lived there, it was what I remember was the Conservatives, the Conservative Party, the Tories were in power, and Maggie Thatcher was kind of ending her career, and then this new guy, John Major, stepped in. And there had really only been two political parties for decades. But I remember distinctly one election when a third party arose, right? And they're called the Liberal Democrats. And as they arose, there was this debate over why would you bother casting your vote for, this third party, because they're clearly not going to win the prime ministership, right? And nevertheless, they they didn't win the prime ministership, but they won like a half a dozen seats in parliament, which isn't a huge number, but it's not a small number.
Is that like some like representatives? They have representatives there.
Yeah, exactly,
There's
exactly
seats
right.
though to be filled.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they were small, but then in the ensuing election years, they got bigger and stronger. And along with them, over the course of the next, say, 15 years, another like half a dozen parties rose up as well. So now when you look at the political climate of the UK, there's not just two parties to choose from, even though the prime minister has only come from one of the two dominant parties. There's all these other parties you can choose from, which I think has probably moderated the whole conversation around politics a lot, because you're no longer, polar opposites, or you're no longer forced to be polar opposites. You know what I mean? To where if you are a conservative, if you are a liberal, you have to be at odds with each other because there's no other option.
Yeah.
Right. So you're either all the way in for everything Trump, or you're all the way in for everything Biden. And there's not a lot of there's zero other option, pretty much.
Unless you're like, I'm for Joe Jorgensen.
Right. And I think,
Jorgensen.
I think a lot of people, they don't know what to do because their voice, I think very few people are truly red through and through, and very few people are truly blue through and through. We're all maybe left-leaning or right-leaning, but we have a bit of both, right? You can't break down humanity into two groups. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and then we also talked about a little bit like what that would look like actually let me ask you now, Bennett.
Sure.
You just came from Portland.
Yes.
What's it like there?
It's a little bit of what they say, in the media and things, but that's not it entirely whatsoever. I mean, it's just like any other big city. It's a heavily democratic, liberal place, which has its good things and it has its bad things. As far as like it being a war zone or, there being crime in the streets just running amok, that was never the case at any point during the riots or anything. They protested for more than 100 nights in a row, which I respect. I think that they're out there for the right reasons. It may not always come out that way, but, I love the place. I love the people. It's got its own issues like anywhere
Did you
else.
like Did you go to Chaz?
Did I go to Chaz?
Yeah.
During the day?
Yeah.
But not at night.
What was that like?
Honestly, it was like anywhere else in Portland usually. I mean, especially when you get like a lot of younger people together, there's some weird stuff that happens there in some of the neighborhoods. But Chaz, I mean, it wasn't like a lawless area or anything like that. I mean, at any given time, there's not always, some authority that's on your street in your city in your specific neighborhood. So it's not like they just let it rot or anything like that. But I mean, yeah, there's some shady stuff that happened there, just like anywhere else.
Have you been to the UK?
Yeah.
Did you?
Only for like a week, so I don't know if that counts, but yeah.
For those listening, I don't really know Bennett very well.
Yeah. We've
Other
known
than,
each
like-
other for like a week now.
Like we've spent at least a total of 4, 5, 6, 7. We spent 8, 7 hours together.
About that, yeah.
Why were you in the UK?
So in high school, I tested into this like accelerated history, Western civilization is what it was called, class. Yeah. And out of that class of like 20 or so students, if you scored in like X percentile, you got to go on this trip for like a fraction of what it would cost everybody else to go on. So
Sure.
I was able to do that and save myself some money. So when we went there, it was mostly based around learning about Western civilization from like, the cradle of like kingdomship and things like that, and feudalism and all of that, all the way into like the 18th century. So that was
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
That's the interview process. Now we're gonna jump into like what you think of.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of something that actually most recently happened. What is the most recent thing that happened in the news?
I don't know. I've almost entirely unplugged.
the Biden bus that got like surrounded by Trump trucks
Oh,
on
no.
the
Oh,
highway.
no.
Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear about that.
I just read about it today. I don't know anything about it, but
What happened?
basically there was like a Biden bus because they're doing some sort of tour in Texas.
Was Biden in the bus?
No.
Okay.
Nobody, it was all like their employees. So wasn't Kamala, wasn't Sleepy Joe, but like apparently a bunch of trucks with Trump flags and stickers and whatever surrounded the bus in an attempt to drive it off the road was what everybody was saying online. But I don't know.
What?
I haven't seen the video. I haven't read anything on it. I doubt that's the case. However, that's the newest thing I read.
This is why I was like, I gotta set up this projector because now I'm like interested. Is there video or is it
I'm
just?
sure there is.
Yeah.
From the pictures I saw, it looked like it was a screen cap off the video, like just a frame cap. So there's probably a video out there, but I only read like the headline and I was like, wow, that's crazy. I don't want to engage that.
Where did you read it from?
I think it was NBC or one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you get your news?
This I found on Reddit.
Yeah.
I goof off on Reddit, yeah.
I hop on Reddit when I want to find an answer to something that a lot of people that like you type in the question like how do I ... and then just put Reddit at the end and then you'll get like a better more like from like that person.
Yeah.
Like if you want to know something about computers then like you go to Reddit. You just type in the question and then Reddit. Do you use DuckDuckGo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What is the why? Why is that? What? How did that blow up so quickly?
DuckDuckGo?
Yeah.
It's I mean, I wouldn't really call it like a foolproof way to safely search online, but it's more secure.
Yeah.
You're not being cookied, nothing's being cached on you, so all of the stuff you see on the perimeter of whatever you're looking at isn't targeted. You can more or less be anonymous like it was when the internet first started.
Okay.
Before caching and all that. So I recommend it. It's a good thing
Yeah.
to have.
I take your word for it. You are in IT, so like.
Recommend.
I always heard that DuckDuckGo is like a less biased like searching like.
Yeah, because
but-
I mean, when you use Google or Yahoo, it and you don't clear out your cache or whatever, it's gonna tailor whatever you're looking at to what your
What you're most
footprint.
likely to continue to use that.
right.
It's like a hamburger from McDonald's, and they're like, we dash this one salt in there, and like people tend to eat that, so we're gonna keep putting a little bit more of that salt in there, and then people are
Exactly.
gonna keep on going.
Right.
That's the biggest thing that's like really blowing my mind right now is like the censorship.
Mm.
Is like, I follow a large array of like, I think I shared Louis with you. Louis, he's just like a computer guy out of New York City. By the way, how's it going, Brittany? It's going? Sweet. All right, anxiety gone. But I follow him and I see people talking about politics that don't necessarily want to talk about politics, like YouTubers primarily. And I see in the YouTube, like on YouTube, the community has absolutely like, you can tell that they don't want to talk about it, but it's like they seem like it's becoming like necessary that they say something about this. And that particularly is like the censorship, and then like Yelp reviews where you can check mark that they're a racist company. They're a racist restaurant.
What?
You haven't heard of that?
No.
What?
Is that a real thing?
That's a real thing, 100% real. You can go to a restaurant, and if you feel as though they treated you in a way,
Yikes.
you can
check
ding
a
them.
box.
Yeah. Yep.
Racist, yes or no?
Yeah.
Ping.
Yep.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Who
And
are we becoming?
well, this is what happens, man. I think that once
Good
you
grief.
get to the point where it's like,
terrible.
I shared this a while ago, is that I once made like a heart-to-heart vlog. Don't judge me for it. And I looked in the camera and I reflected on the time when you would say to your parents, "I'm bored."
Mm.
And it's like gone. Like that doesn't occur anymore, right? Like, kids don't go to their parents and say, I'm bored anymore. They just get on their phone or their iPad or whatever it is and then just drift away.
Mm.
So, but where do they drift to is to Twitter and
Right.
YouTube and to censorship land.
Yeah, to some kind of social media.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Black Mirror?
Of
Mhm.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know that episode where the little girl walks down the street and then there's the dog barking and then it like censors them?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Favorite Black Mirror episode? Have you seen them all?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I know we've talked about it, but I didn't know that you watched them through and through.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I missed one.
Yeah. Which one was like the one that you were like the most?
Oh,
This is
gosh.
most like what things are.
Oh Lord.
I mean, other than
I don't know.
Nosedive.
Yeah, so that's the one where the lady is all about social media and you like me, I like you, and then at the end she like totally implodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that had the best ending of all of them.
Yeah. Where
I
she
thought it
goes to
was
the
great.
wedding and then I forget what happens at the end of that.
She ends up in
She said-
jail
oh, yeah.
across from another dude, and they just like straight cussing at each other.
Yeah.
It's great.
Just facing
Right.
each other and they just like
yeah,
yell
and
at
they're
each other.
finally like, screw all this. Like, I just don't care anymore. I hit rock bottom.
favorite.
I really liked.
Except for the last season. I guess I didn't watch the last season all the way through because that got weird.
This one might be the last season, but I can't remember the name of it. It was the one with the London taxi driver who was trying to like kidnap the owner of some social media company.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
at gunpoint and then
Yeah.
like
Then there's that whole standoff.
yeah.
I like that one.
I was talking to Lakin about that one last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I basically I brought up censorship
Uh-huh.
because everybody was talking about God at this party, and or gods or just whatever it was, politics. I mean, we had it all, man, and so I thought I'd get in the mess, and I talked about Jack Dorsey, who is the CEO of Twitter,
Mhm.
and Jack Dorsey is totally that guy in that movie
Yeah.
that he's trying to get a hold of.
Yeah. Topher Grace.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm certain that could possibly happen. Where somebody's like, get Jack on the phone. Did you guys happen to watch the meeting, or I guess it was like a Senate hearing with the Google rep Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey?
You mean back in the day, like a year ago?
No. This happened like 3 days ago after like the whole New York Post thing.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
didn't see
because
that.
Twitter basically shut down the New York Post, suspended their account after they
Right.
leaked the whole Hunter Biden laptop
Mhm.
thing. And so they had to go and answer to the Senate.
Yeah.
And Ted Cruz got up there and was like, Jack Dorsey, do you believe that Twitter has the capability? This is, I believe, word for word. Don't hold me to it. Don't hold me to anything that I have to say. But he said, does Twitter have the capability to influence elections? And the most scary thing happened, and Jack Dorsey just, no,
Yikes.
just like that. No. And anyway, that's...
Do you think he knows it does, but he's not obviously not going to admit it? Or do you
I-
think
that's
he
a-
truly believes that? No.
See, that's the thing is that if he would have said yeah, then like, you know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like what?
it's-
Okay.
Yeah, like what happens then?
Well,
Right.
I don't know if he does or not because here's the thing: if he would have said yes, like yes, of course, social media has the capability to
Influence
you know,
elections. Of course.
yeah.
It is. Right.
like, but then again, the follow up question to that: well, are you influencing? And I think that's why he said no. So he probably does know.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, who doesn't believe that Twitter has the capability, if someone, pulled the right levers to influence an election? Of course they do. So does Facebook, so do all the big social media giants. But like you said, if they said, yeah, I mean, it can, we don't, then the follow-up question is, okay, well, how do you make sure that you don't? And what protocol do you have in place? And, oh, I think the government should probably get involved in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's got to say no.
Yeah. but of all people,
Well, and he was prepped by a team of attorneys. You know what I mean? He didn't just walk in there with his chacos on and, just wing it.
Yeah.
he looked like he was wearing some chacos. He's got a beard now but eye for eye. Not eye for eye. Sharia law. How do you feel about Sharia law?
Whoa, okay. Twitter, all right. Covered that. Sharia.
It's a big pivot.
I was actually watching an interview with, I think her name is Dor bin Laden.
Oh, is that like
her
The
granddaughter?
niece. Yeah,
Huh.
niece of, yeah. So how do you feel about Sharia law?
How do I feel about Sharia law? Well, I can't say I'm an expert on Sharia law, but it doesn't sound like it's a good thing in general. I'll say this. So I work for an international nonprofit. I travel a lot, and one of the offices that I oversee is in Lebanon, in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
So I go there quite a bit, and I'll be there next week.
Really?
Yep,
wow.
How long?
a short trip, like 5 days.
Okay.
So, so my knowledge of Sharia law is very, very small. There's one part of Sharia law that I know a bit about because it affects our work, and it has to do with Sharia law's view of children. So we work in I work for an orphan prevention, orphan care ministry. And so, we have to abide by whatever laws exist in the countries that we work in. And so in Lebanon, it's a democratic society, so, no, very few issues there. But in other parts of the Middle East, places where Sharia law, where we butt up against Sharia law, it's an issue because Sharia law has this part of it that's called kafala. And kafala is specifically the care of kids who don't have parents. And according to Sharia law, they are not allowed to be adopted or fostered in a family. They have to be raised in a group home/institution. And so, which is not the best for kids, right? It might be better than them being totally destitute, but if you get to pick, if you could design a system, that wouldn't be the one you'd design, right? Knowing what we know now. So that's a problem for us.
Yeah.
And so we haven't gone toe to toe with it yet, but we have already started sort of the legal process of saying, okay, well, what would it look like for us to legally place kids with a loving family and do like a foster care type thing through a local church nonetheless.
Yeah.
And it's a major problem. And so
Are you working with other churches, not just like churches, Christian churches?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Not a single denomination.
Yeah, but are you working with like mosques?
Nope.
Or, no?
No, we work with churches.
Okay. So like Methodist and Baptists.
Yeah.
There's Methodist and Baptist churches over there? This is how
yeah, absolutely there are. So we
comparable, I guess. I'm curious about like the comparable to those of mosques. I mean, we're talking about Liberia, right? Or Lebanon.
Yep.
So in Lebanon, I guess, what percentage is it that is Muslim?
All right. So I think the percentage is something like 50% Muslim. I'm sorry, that's not right. It's
Tell me about a country that if it's you guys don't go to Syria, do you?
we have one church partner in Syria.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I've never been there, and I probably won't get to go there for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a church partner there.
That's tough.
It is tough.
Do you hear back from those people?
Yeah, he travels. So there's a pastor who oversees the church, and he travels between Lebanon and Syria quite a bit. So I've met him a bunch of times. He's a super great dude. And the war never came to his doorstep. And he hasn't, ISIS didn't come raging through his town burning churches. And his church is established and it exists. And it's tolerated by the community. It's not really accepted, but it's tolerated for sure. And for the most part, he's had a touch and go relationship with the community for the most part. But he, you know, every now and then the local sort of council will come up with a new rule that is he thinks is a sneaky attempt to sort of hedge against the church doing its evangelical and humanitarian work, right? So they'll say, okay, you can only gather in so many numbers. So then they have to go to the council and they have to protest and say, you know, this isn't fair because the mosque has, you know, 8 times these numbers gathering, you know, whatever, but it's only enforced against us. You know, they came up with this rule that was they're not allowed to speak of Jesus or Christianity outside of the walls of their church. So they said, that's fine. We'll just invite people to church and then we'll tell them about Jesus when they get there. And they can come or they can not come. That's their own free will.
Sure.
And then they said, well, okay. Well, you can't invite people to church anymore either. So
is this only making it spread more then?
I don't know, probably. I mean, that's the case in Iran for sure. Well, no, we don't have church partners in Iran, but, you know, Christianity is almost entirely outlawed. And the fastest growing church in the world is Iran, the underground church in Iran.
Are you partnered with any of them?
No.
Okay.
I would love to be. That'd be awesome.
Huh. Well, how do they feel about Trump?
Funny you say that. So, all right. So I was traveling to Lebanon from India. So I was in India and I was traveling to Lebanon and I had a layover in Abu Dhabi. So I drop into Abu Dhabi and as we're walking through the airport, everybody's watching the TV, right? And CNN everywhere. And we're like, what is going on? Like, this is weird. Like, everybody's just stopped in place watching the TV, almost like 9/11. And so we look and Trump had just announced the Muslim ban for all these countries in the Middle East. And we're standing there in the Abu Dhabi airport about to fly into Lebanon. And he's just announced, like, all these countries are no longer allowed to travel to the United States. And me and my buddy are like, well, this will be an interesting trip. So we get on the plane and we fly into Lebanon and we hang out with this church partner for a while, this pastor who's a great, great dude. And we end up visiting a few different kind of Syrian refugee camps where they sort of, you know, they're hanging out. And we meet this imam, this leader of this camp. And we sit down and unlike the United States, in Lebanon, you know, here, the 2 topics that you never talk about are politics and religion. And there, the 2 topics that you always talk about are politics and religion. So we're sitting down in this guy's tent and drinking tea, and I've just met him, and he leans over and he's like, so what do you think of Trump? Right? This Syrian imam, this Muslim guy who's leader of this whole thing, and he's like, what do you think of Trump? And I'm like, oh, dang. Like, how do I
put on the spot.
How do I navigate this? You know, how do I get out of this? And look, just
but
how do I
save
face?
You're not in America. You're in Lebanon, and
right. And look, and
wait.
And for the record, I'm no fan of Trump.
Is this his home then?
Yeah, this is home.
Okay,
this is home. So he's, you know, he and another say 200 people have erected these little tents on the side of a highway.
Yeah,
and they're just surviving, right?
Yeah.
And so we're in his tent, which is pretty tricked out. Like he had a big old TV and a satellite dish on the roof of his tent. I mean, it was intense. Slick. It was slick. So he asked me, you know, what do you think of Trump? And I'm like, okay, well, I said, you know, I'm not a fan of Trump. I think that, you know, I'm just kind of waffling. And then he just gets bored of me. So he just kind of cuts me off. And he's like, you know, I really hope he doesn't bomb my country because one day I'd like to go back. And I was like, okay, you know, say no more. I understand how you feel about Trump. So off we go. You know, we're traveling around some more. And I go to leave the airport to fly back to the States. And as I'm checking in, the guy checking me in, he's like, oh, American, what do you think of Trump? And I'm like, I don't know, man. He's, you know, as a human being, I think he's atrocious. And and he's like, no. This is a Lebanese guy, right, who works at the ticket counter for Delta or somebody.
Sure, he's not asking for his character.
Right, he's not a Syrian refugee, right?
Yeah.
Whose country is currently, at war, and America is deciding whether or not they want to send troops in and just level everything, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, no. He's like, Trump is keeping you safe by doing this. I'm Lebanese. We've got 2 million refugees who just poured across our borders, and our economic system can't take it. Our healthcare system can't take it. Our education system can't take it. He's like, Trump's keeping you safe, so you should vote for him. And he gives me my passport back, and off I go. And I'm like, what a crazy scenario, right? Like, within probably 48 hours, I have this conversation with a Syrian guy who's lost his home and is camping on the side of the road. Who's like, no, I hate Trump. He's going to level my whole country. Versus this Lebanese guy who's like, we're all crumbling. This whole economy is crumbling because of this. And Trump had the balls enough to say, no one's coming in the door. Like, shut that tight. And he respected that. And so it's funky. Like, the more I travel to the Middle East, the more sympathy and respect I see for Trump that I never would have expected. There's a lot of people out there who sympathize with his philosophy and his stance on stuff.
Well, I know that in the UK, Germany, a lot of the Scandinavian countries, they've really just opened up things and said the more the merrier. Come on in. So much so that I think I heard Germany did something similar and kind of said, no, we can't handle this. We can't handle all these people coming in. What do you think?
About the refugee crisis in the Middle East?
Yeah.
It's a complicated, multifaceted thing. I mean,
I can't hear you. You guys
it
speak.
is a complicated,
Wait, is he coming through?
multifaceted.
Okay, all right. Am I in focus, by the way?
Yeah, you're like
Too late.
I need to go to my left or right? Right here?
move
This
this way.
way?
Yeah.
Is this good?
Yeah. you're
Okay, perfect. There's these little voices in my head that... Okay, that's not a good thing to announce to the internet. There's voices in my head. I get this anxiety of doing this is that there's something that's off. The first time I ever did these things, they were all pre-recorded. And so whatever happened. And I would take it back to my computer, and sometimes the audio on one of them would be just gone.
True.
And then what would happen is that I took the audio from one mic, and I would have to read lips to line it up. So that's why I get this is everything all right? This is nice to have Brittany here.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Way to go, Brittany. Holding it down like a champ.
No, not necessarily what's going on over there, but just borders in general. Like what?
Oh, so borders in general.
Yeah. And don't give me the house analogy.
The house
I want something better than that.
Okay.
Do you lock your door?
Right.
Do you have walls on your home?
I'm not gonna get that much into it, but I mean, I guess borders serve a purpose in the sense that it's a decided spot on a more or less ambiguous landscape of where your rules end and another's begin. I think that they're divisive, but I mean, they don't have their uses, I guess. Especially well, that might not be a good example, but yeah, I mean, I just think that, borders serve a purpose. Whether or not that's still a relevant purpose nowadays in a global economy, that could be argued, but
Yeah. So what you're saying is that you don't want any Mexicans in this country.
I wouldn't be here, brother.
Are you Mexican?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a quarter. Which counts. I can put that on government paperwork.
I'm actually 0.1% Syrian, I think.
Really?
Or not Syrian. I can't remember. I'm 0.1% black.
Wow.
It's a country in Africa that popped up on the little... And it's not me, it's actually my sister. But we look so much alike, then we
Got it.
clearly have the same genetics, right?
Totally.
Is that right, or am I making that up?
I don't know.
So when did you come to America?
3 generations ago. 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not
Huh.
an anchor baby or nothing.
What's an anchor baby?
An anchor baby?
Yeah.
That was a term that was getting tossed around a while ago for. I think the law at the time was if you were in the country illegally and you gave birth in the States on United States soil, then that child is technically a citizen, but the parents are not. But there's a route for citizenship being that you birthed a child in the United States. So, anchor baby.
Interesting.
Yes.
Mm.
Huh.
I know a guy from Haiti
Mm.
whose mom flew to New York when she was 9 months pregnant, landed on a fake passport, landed, and this was all the plan, and everything went apparently perfectly to plan. And she got busted, and they pulled her into obviously, and then pulled her into a room, and then she went into labor, and she gave birth to her son, and they're like, well, stop the deportation process. Like, you're here to stay now. Like, your son is an American citizen, and he's an awesome dude. His mom's super awesome. I mean, they're just
You know them?
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Huh. Where
Yeah,
are
they're
they?
awesome.
Are they here, or they live still in New York?
No, they were in New York for a bit, then they were in Miami for a bit, now they're in Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his brother. So over time, his whole family moved over from Haiti, and there's the only Haitian restaurant in Kansas City. It's on Broadway, and they own that. His brother is like the head chef there. Yeah,
That's pretty wild.
yeah, they're awesome, awesome.
Are they good
family.
cooks?
Oh yeah.
I've never had Haitian food.
You're missing out, brother.
Huh?
You're missing out.
Haitian.
Yeah.
Where's that then? The Haitian. Where's the origin out, or the? What country does Haitian food come from?
Haiti.
Oh, that makes sense.
Small island country.
Well, I didn't know. I mean,
Oh,
it's just,
Okay. I'm just trying to help you out.
I've only heard what Trump's told me.
Mm.
You know how it's a. I'm just kidding.
Yep. Yeah, that was.
It was a joke, okay? I don't think. Maybe I don't know. You've been to Haiti then?
Yeah,
haven't you?
I lived there for 2 years.
That's right.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's a hard place. It's
Yeah?
a hard place. Yeah, it's had some. It's got a pretty messed up past. You can't, when you know the history of Haiti, it's hard to blame Haiti and Haitians and their situation on the people. Like, they were just taken by everyone in the world. It was rough.
Was I remember a book. I might sound really stupid right now, but that volcano that erupted, where was that at? Pompeii?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one. Yes.
Yeah. Where was that at?
Pompeii.
Pompeii?
Yeah.
See, this is how much I know about, like, the world. I'm so coddled in here in America. I do have some fans in Africa that listen.
Really?
So, yeah, shout out to all you guys that are listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that one starts with a J, like the place.
Wait, in Africa?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't put me on the spot.
I don't know.
It's been a while since I've looked at it.
Well, we've covered world politics, and we've kind of skidded around what's going on today in the U.S. Trump or Biden? Trump or Biden?
It's a terrible question.
It is a terrible question. Terrible question, because the answer is terrible, no matter which way you go.
Yeah.
terrible
And
answer.
actually, I think that if we don't want to do that, that's actually a bad thing, because those who are watching, 50% of them would just be. I heard something interesting recently, that America isn't actually more polarized than it's ever been before, because it's always been about 50-50, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Reagan. What was Reagan when he got?
Oh, I don't
his
know.
second term, or-
I don't know. I think he won big.
Yeah.
But then Clinton won big.
Yeah.
Obama won big. You know.
Yeah, but it's been fairly. Why is it now that it's considered polarized?
I think just the readiness and the incredible amount of information you can bombard your mind with at any given time, where other people can. I think that's like the biggest difference from like 2016's election to any other election prior to that. That was like when social media was really proving itself to be like its own industry. Like it in itself is an industry now.
I think you're right, but I can't hear you.
Oh.
Are we sure that Bennett is talking?
I
Like,
can
is
hear
he?
myself.
How do we know that Bennett is? Do we?
It was fine on the YouTube project.
Oh, will you check it again? Because it like cut out like halfway through,
Oh.
and
I'm hearing him.
oh, you're hearing him?
Yeah, I hear him great.
Oh,
It's a little quieter than your and my voice, but it's there.
well, get up on that mic, buddy.
Hello.
Get up on that mic.
I'm up in it.
You were in a band.
Yeah.
Why or when?
Because I was angsty and I was 16, brother.
Oh,
Did you paint your fingernails black whenever you were in the band?
Yes.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Is
man.
that not part of your costume?
It was, yeah. I just haven't taken it off yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you still paint your fingernails every now and then? Okay.
No.
Okay.
You're out of
I'm
that.
just trying to get a gauge on this.
Listen to the same music, but I don't paint my nails anymore.
Like what? Give me a band.
Well, this is topical. Bring Me the Horizon just dropped a new album
Ooh.
like 3 or 4 days ago,
Ooh.
and I've been feeling on for a while.
Do you listen to Bring Me the Horizon?
Nope.
Have you ever heard of them?
Nope.
Oh man, I only liked one of their songs. Do you know which song I'm talking about?
Depends. When did you hear it?
This would have been 2008, 2007.
Ooh, way back.
Yeah.
Okay. What song was it?
Haste the Day is the name of the band, isn't it?
Haste the Day? Sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah, I think that's the band. I'm trying to think of Bring Me the Horizon. I don't really like them though. I hate to break it to you.
That's fine.
They're just kind of like they're a little bit.
Everybody's thing.
They're a little bit like his voice is just a little bit. I don't know. Grungy?
Yeah.
Grungy? No.
I mean, it's different now. He messed up his vocal cords. He ruptured one, so he sounds different now, but
How does that happen?
screaming into a microphone on tour. I would
Yikes.
imagine. Yeah.
Did you do that? Was that your role in the band?
Well, I was the vocalist, but yeah, my voice is, I can't hit high notes at all.
Can you give me like
I
a
can't.
preview?
What?
I said, can you give me a preview?
I don't know. You have to, I need a song.
Well, just freestyle.
I can't do that. No, I don't freestyle.
Okay, I have Bring Me the Horizon here, right here. It's Can You Feel My Heart Now?
That's a good album.
Sleepwalking, Follow You. It's not in the top 10. I know that. What's their most popular song? The most popular song that ever was.
Oh gosh, probably Diamonds Aren't Forever. It starts off with him just like.
I don't think so.
What is it? How's it go? We Will Never Sleep. Or what does it go? Can't remember.
That's
that was
good.
like a popular one around the time you'd have been listening
Yeah.
to them,
We Will Never Sleep. Give it to me.
though. No.
Come on. Scream into that mic.
I cannot. I can't anymore, brother. I can't.
That's fair.
It shreds
Were you
my
ever in a
throat.
band?
Yeah.
Were you really?
Yeah. I played guitar. I was angsty and about 16. that's the age.
We could start a band straight up. I played drums in a band when I was like 15, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we got guitar, we got sing.
I've always wanted to do like a folksy band, like a folk kind of,
I always wanted to do a
that,
barbershop.
and then just a scream every now and then.
Yeah, right. Yeah. A new genre.
I wanted like a barbershop quartet.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
I remember actually talking to like people like that I actually knew they sing and they like enjoyed singing, and I was like, look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna meet here. And never actually followed through. But I have a drum set and I've got 2 guitars. We could just change up this live stream right now,
Just
real quick.
This could be the debut.
Yeah.
Right here. Well, the
Just
throwbacks.
Move
the
this table
throwbacks.
out. Let's get the drum set in here.
Yeah.
One of those guitars is actually.
Angsty and 16. That's our first
Yeah, there we
hit.
go.
Hey, slide me that guitar though. That the one in the
Right here?
middle. The one in the yeah. It's actually a sad story.
Pop it out.
You can swing it over. Actually, yeah. Here, just swing it over here. I'll get it. Put it on the table. I'm not worried about it because of this right here. Do you see that?
Ooh.
Oh goodness, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, and it gets worse every time I go to open it and look at it. But it's a wild story. I got this, and this happened 3 weeks later.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah. I let one of my lady friends play it, and it had like a cheap strap. You know those cheap straps that they come with?
Mm-hmm.
And she was playing it, and then she went to take off the strap, not the guitar. And you know how that works.
Yeah.
Is that whenever you take off the when you take off the strap and not the guitar, you there's that chance that it will slip off, right? And that's exactly what happened on a front porch.
Oof.
Yeah, and steps next to it, and it just goes whoop,
Yeah.
just smack the ground.
Shoot.
Now, fortunately, it didn't crack like that immediately, and like I was able to play it. In fact, I went to college after that, and I was unable to strum it because whenever it's a cracked neck, is that it never stays in tune. However, you can practice just like scales and stuff. So that's the story of this guitar. I'll leave it over here.
It's a bummer.
Did you play guitar or did you just scream?
I tried.
That's a funny
but,
way
like,
to
I was-
phrase it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is, more or less. But I mean, I tried, but I was never really good at it. I did drums for a while, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, I played drums for 2 years, 3 years.
Do you still have the drum set?
I bequeathed them onto my younger brother, so now he has them. So.
I did that to the same. I did that with an ex-girlfriend, and then I regretted it, and then I ended up having to get those back.
That was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Well, my cousin took care of it. I
Oh,
was
okay, nice. Just send
hey,
in the
can you
muscle.
just? Yeah, exactly. Well, it was a girl, so it wasn't really like muscle. It was
Oh,
like,
okay.
but anyway, I got it back, so
Nice.
that worked out.
Good.
Have you ever given something to a girl, and then, like, maybe say, regretted giving that to them?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I was dating this girl once, and she was a violin player, and then she stopped playing violin for a while. So I rented her a violin for like 6 months, and then I was like, after the contract, we'll just renew it. But we broke up before the contract was done, and she called and was like, "So you gonna renew this contract?" And I'm like, "No, definitely not." What are you talking about?
How old were you?
Oh, I was probably 22, 23, something like that.
And you rented her a violin.
Yeah.
Did she actually pick it up then?
Yeah, she started playing again. Like she talked about it all the time, how much she missed it and whatever. So I went and I rented her one, and I was like, all right, I'll rent.
What's that run someone?
I think it was like $20, $30 a month, something like that.
Wait. So you broke up and then you continued to pay it until?
I paid like the 6 months up
Okay.
front.
Okay, I see.
And then I told her, hey, it's 6 months, but let's see. And if you really like it and you want to keep playing, then after 6 months, we'll just re-up.
That's thoughtful.
Yeah, and then we broke up like 4 months later, and then so we're broken up, and then a couple months go by, and she calls and she's like, hey, it's my birthday present, whatever, and he said about da-da-da. Well, the contract's up now, and I'm like, yeah. And she said, do you want to? I was like, no, I definitely do not want to do that.
Have you ever had a girlfriend, Bennett?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Back to the showmanship of the
It's
interview.
hard when you're wearing a dapper suit such as that.
Well, we coined this is that if you take the glasses off, it's actually immediately becomes
Don Draper.
Don Draper.
Mm.
So we'll take those off and then just button this up,
There you go.
and then I become Don Draper.
Now you just need an old-fashioned in a nice glass.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, yeah, I was going to have drinks, but I didn't have a refrigerator.
By the way, she wants to give that back to you whenever you're ready.
Okay, yeah.
And your Gatorades are in there nice and chilled.
Okay, perfect. Hopefully, Carl's Smirnoff Gatorade isn't in there.
No, we threw that mess away.
Okay. Yeah. Halloween party. Sorry I didn't invite you to it.
That's all right. You know, I wasn't gonna go. I got kids.
Yeah.
I
But
got trick or treat.
I thought if if I invited you to a Halloween party, you come, wouldn't you?
I'd make a best effort.
You're on camera
sure.
here, so
I'd make a best effort. That's my answer. I'd make a really, really strong effort.
that's fair.
That's all you can ask.
That's fair. So, have you guys voted yet, or can you even vote yet? You have to vote. When can you vote?
I did mine in Oregon. So
That was the worst segue
You
ever.
did?
Sorry, guys.
You already voted?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oregon did early voting probably a month before I left. So.
Oh, right on. That's the way to do it, man.
Could you guys do the segues from now on? I'm kind of beating myself up over the last one right there.
I think that was perfect.
Really?
It was perfect, man. You do you.
Yeah?
You do you.
The U-turns keep me on my toes. So I can
That's
appreciate
right.
it.
Sweet.
Or just when we're like relaxed and be like, oh man, what? Syrian refugees? What do I think about borders?
Le'Veon Bell. You guys hear about Le'Veon Bell playing with the Chiefs today?
Oh, is he the one everybody was stoked about getting added to the team and all that?
They
I don't
played.
follow
They
football at all.
you don't follow it. I don't
Me
either. I really honestly don't either. My dad follows it. I watched some of the game with him,
Yeah.
and it was huge. Apparently, he was on the Jets, right?
Okay.
Who they played today. And then he was like, I don't want to play for you guys anymore because he's kind of a prima donna of the league. Because apparently before that, he told like the Steelers, like, you guys aren't paying me enough, and was just like
I'm dipping.
voided the contract or something, like went into whatever. So then he played for the Jets. Then he said, okay, I'm done playing with you guys. Became a free agent and then got picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs. I think partially by his choice.
Yeah.
Because he wants to win a Super Bowl. And so now you got Mahomes, you got Le'Veon Bell, and you guys clearly don't follow football. So if that segue could just come in at any time.
Well, what were we talking about? We segued to something heavy, and then we segued right out of it into the Chiefs.
We were talking about regrettable gifts to ex-girlfriends.
That's
What was
right.
that? Was it
That's right. But there was something after that. Didn't we go somewhere? Oh, did you vote already? That was
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
that was-
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to vote.
You gotta vote.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Just brush that off.
Yeah. It was nice. I have a little bit of a story here. I was living downtown, Kansas City. Didn't follow politics at all 4 years ago, like everybody else. And after the election, Trump had won, because Russia collusion and stuff. And I had this American flag bandana that I wore a lot, just because, like, why not? American flag bandana, whatever. And so I was living downtown, and I walked into a gas station, and some dude approached me and was like a little bit angsty after Trump had won. And so immediately I was able to just like look at him and be like, dude, I didn't even vote. He was like, that's cool, man. I was like, yeah, I just think it's a cool bandana. He's like, yeah, it is cool. He didn't say that. He actually came back to my place that night and we made a band.
Nice. What you call yourselves?
Friends.
Nice.
Oh, nice. That's good.
That's
Strong.
poetic.
We had a logo and everything. There were stars in between each letter.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on.
It was nothing like the logo for Friends.
No, of course not.
You know,
What
that
is that? Friends?
I don't
Is that
know.
a show? No, I
apparently Brandy has seen every single episode though.
don't. She tells me that, yes.
It's embarrassing.
I hope I don't get roped into that.
Have you seen Friends?
Yeah, that was my era.
Yeah?
I haven't seen every episode. I saw
You'd be
a dozen.
you strike me as a Joey.
Mm,
Like, you could probably play Joey.
If I had to be a character from Friends, I'd be Joey.
Yeah.
I think everybody would be
Oh,
Joey
yeah.
if they could.
I don't know if I could pull off Joey. Actually, yeah, I could.
There you go. There's that inner confidence.
Do you know where it came from? It was, you know what? I do say some stupid things. I think I could pull it off. That's awesome. Did you go to college?
Yeah.
Where? You told me. I think you told me this.
I think I did, but that's all right. Well, I went to 3 different schools, and I got my degree last year.
Okay. Number 1.
Number 1 was NDSU.
NDSU.
Yes, North Dakota State University.
Okay.
Bison footballs, good stuff.
Do they do like a?
Yes.
Is that it?
Kinda. You're close. It's been forever, brother. I don't remember.
Kind of looks like a bison.
That was a hazy time in my teens. That's why I went to 3 schools. That's a good dog.
It's actually an emu.
Emu? Oh yeah.
It's him spitting.
Got it.
Doing.
And then I went to school in Oregon. Got my degree, and now I'm going for my bachelor's.
Oh, you?
No, it was Mount Hood Community College.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Mount Hood. It's a good place.
Yeah. And then what was the last place?
Now I'm going to Western Governors University, which was a school that did online learning, teaching, distance learning, whatever you want to call it.
Bennett, you're getting away from the microphone.
Before it
Do I have to remind you that you were a screamer?
You're right. I should be better at this.
It's okay. It's fine. There's no judgment here.
Good.
That's a great segue. Don't you hate it when people say that? Can you not? No judgment. No judgment.
Yeah.
Just share with me. I swear I won't judge you. And then you don't ever see that person again.
Right.
Yes. I think no judgment works in a one-on-one type of scenario, but any more than that.
Now it sounds like you're too close to the microphone. But I'm not judging you.
Okay. See, like, okay, I got it. I see what you're saying.
I think I liked it better whenever I was Clark Kent.
There you go.
How's that out? Like at Oregon, going to school there? Cause
It was good.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I went to a small community college in like one of the burbs, so I wasn't. The big school there is Portland State University, PSU.
Okay.
U of O is in Eugene, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours south of Portland.
Eugene.
That's where the Ducks are, and
They're like avid football
oh, yeah,
people.
they're a huge school.
I like their
big sports
uniforms.
program. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
They're
they always
awesome.
have the best uniforms.
Yeah, them, and then I also like the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
It kind of grew on me, but what sports do you watch? Football?
No,
You don't watch football?
I can't. Well, I mean, I'll go to a game, but I won't watch it on TV. That's one of those sports.
We got sporting.
like baseball. Right. I want to.
You pumped for that?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to go to one of those games. but
Okay, I don't know if they're letting anyone in,
Probably not.
but you can stand outside the stadium.
Yeah, and just listen.
Just listen. Do you think they still in that? Like, if you go to outside Kauffman Stadium, they're like, you can listen. Like, are they still announcing while they're playing?
Right. That's a good question.
Yeah, aren't they doing like
Nothing. They're doing
They
nothing.
said the groundskeeper.
Well, they have
Go, boys.
they have those little the people in the stands. You know
Yeah.
what tears me up? I actually had this idea, and I want to run this by both of you, and you tell me what you think of it. If it's a Joey idea, then let me know. Won't
You
get
mean
offended.
$1 million idea? Is that what you mean by a Joey idea?
yeah. No. I have plenty of those, and you know I have plenty of those.
Yes.
There's
yes.
a handful of those.
That's right. The couple's toothbrush is going to be.
Yes. The inseparable couples toothbrush. It's great.
sounds.
Couples
I
that
check
brush
it.
together stay together.
Yeah.
Hear me out. But no, they don't put anyone in the stadiums, and I'm like, pff, they should get the kids from Children's Mercy who have leukemia and put them in the stands. Why not, right? Have them the ones, there's some baseball. Is this a bad idea?
No.
I think it's a great idea.
I mean, all right. So
It's touchy here. I know, I get it.
No one else is in the stands.
No one else is in the stands.
And let's say you do a good job of like sterilizing everything.
Sure. And they're sitting in the
And then you do like make a
diamond
wish
section.
for a whole bunch of kids
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah.
And you transport them there,
They get to meet the players.
get to meet the players.
Yeah.
With some kind of social distancing, something for
Put the player in a bubble.
right,
like,
right.
Whatever.
Something.
Did you see that concert where they had everybody in a bubble?
No.
Oh my.
No, I heard of the one where they did like a drive-in concert and everyone just got out of their cars.
Yeah.
And it was just total disaster.
Was that with not Tom Segura, but what's his face?
It was with
Bert Kreischer. Bert
No.
Kreischer did a drive-in.
Oh, he did?
Uh huh.
Did-
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he loves that. Yeah. this is my best Crusher impression. Sometimes I pick my nose and eat it. He actually says that on his podcast. I don't know if you've actually heard his podcast, but it is quite possibly the. You have?
Oh yeah, that's like one of the. Yeah, that's one of the few I listen to.
Yeah, to just get away from everything.
Yeah.
They kind of lean towards more into. It gets so bad. I mean, like, I sent you that one clip from it, but I don't think I'd ever suggest that you listen to it.
No, I listened to it. It was hilarious.
Well, the one I sent you, but then like I continued to listen after that, and I started listening, and it's like they went on a how do I say this? They went on a porn high raid. Is that the right word?
Okay.
Like they started like.
Oh, is this the one where they were talking about getting their favorites on the show with them to like that they could interview? Because I think I listened to that one.
Yeah. Or they would oh my gosh. I don't know if I want to say these things. Hey mom. But yeah, that was that episode. And then the violet wand, they brought up how that they would I'm not even gonna go into that. So I've got pumpkin guts on my suit.
No.
Yeah. I even told Shelby that I don't want to get it, but I did.
Cost of business.
Orange. What other things are orange?
Oranges.
Bonus round.
Oh, it's good. Good segue.
Bum, bum, bum,
That's a
bum,
good
bum,
one.
bum, bum, bum,
So we're into
bum, bum,
orange
bum,
colored
bum,
things?
bum, 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 bum,
My favorite orange colored things. Oranges. I enjoy those.
Tasty.
Come on, give me some more spice.
Ping pong balls.
Ooh, nice. Nice. Because you only get two colors.
Right.
Why orange? Like white, and then it's like,
High visibility, maybe.
maybe it shows up good against the green. I don't know.
This is my costume.
That's a little janky up in there.
Put it
Oh, there you
sideways. No, not like that. But like, no, turn it. Yeah, it'll work.
You're saying down here.
Oh, well, no, I was saying like take it. You take it like this, and then like that.
That
Perfect.
It fits. I have a big melon. Let's see. No, it's gonna roll off. That's a you costume, brother.
So, how do you feel about women on the front lines?
Yeah, no issue with it. Didn't two females got into was it SEAL Team 6?
No.
Like they made the cut.
Yeah, I
First
heard
time in,
about
like,
that.
Ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's two of them.
You're gonna have to prove that. Prove it,
I heard.
Brittany.
something-
Fact check that.
I heard something about that.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Why not?
Sure.
Why
if
not?
they can pass the sure.
Yeah, I don't know why that would ever matter.
I don't think that they should be on the front lines though.
Why?
Why?
Yeah. Just curious.
Because I think that when you go to war, it's to protect the women and the children. And so that idea of putting a woman or a child on the front lines is like, what are we doing? So
Oh, so you're saying that says a lot about a country itself if they're
Sure.
sending women? What if
Yeah.
more women choose to go though? They're not being forced to. Shouldn't it be just left up to them? Like if they say I want to go, they should just be able to go.
this is great. This is great.
Mhm,
This is
mhm.
great.
I like
is
where
great.
this is
This is
going.
great.
Let's hang out here again. Let's not segue for a bit.
Okay, let's settle down here. So, what do I think? Should they have the choice to be on the front lines?
I think. Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking me. I'm kind
Oh,
of just like
that's a rhetorical
stirring. Yeah,
question,
I'm
yeah.
stirring this in my mind. Is that like should they have the choice to be on the front lines? I'm gonna say a hard no, just to see where it goes.
Interesting.
Devil's advocate.
All right. So where
Well, I also believe that. But
devil's advocate, and I am the devil. You're not. You're great.
okay,
Um,
awesome.
So where is the front line though? So is the person who controls the drone that fires the missile that blows up whoever, is that the front line? or is it the person carrying the gun who puts another bullet in another human being?
So it's the person who is the most at risk.
Person, okay.
At the most
the
risk
soldier,
of death.
the soldier
Which would
with
be
a
like
weapon in their
Marines.
hand, firing at other people with weapons in their hands.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. I also think that it's also when and I'm not an expert in this. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the Joe Rogan and say I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm working this out too. I'm 28 years old, so we're gonna find out whether or not in 10 years I still have the same views. I think I will, but who knows?
If I may, in World War II, when Russia was getting its butt kicked by Germany while they were pushing through Stalingrad, Russia had to allow females to fight in the war because they were running out of bodies. And they found out that women actually were better shooters, more patient in their shots, so they got more kills, and they were willing to stay in position longer than any man that they were serving with.
Fact check, Brittany. No, I'm kidding.
I mean,
But seriously,
there's merit to both
that's
arguments.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have an issue with it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
If women want to serve in the front lines, why not? I understand that there's a moral issue of chivalry, right? So, like, as a man, I feel a sense of responsibility to care for women and all people.
Yeah.
But I feel more of a sense to care for women
Liberty.
and children than I do to care for other men. You know what I mean?
Liberty above the risk of the liberty over security is the argument that we're kind of diving into.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But I think
I wasn't meaning to like. Okay.
I think that, not because, so chivalry, right? Not because I feel that women are a lesser species or not capable.
I agree.
And so I'm good. But I think it's, if a woman wanted to serve on the front lines, why not?
So here's another thought or another factor that pulls into it is that and as I said, I don't really know if this is how they do it, but when you are going into such high risk situations, is that if somebody else is wounded, then to get them to a medic or to pull them back is that you have to be able to lift them over your shoulders and then bring them back.
Sure. There's a physical requirement, right?
Yeah.
To serve in the front line.
So I guess we're getting in the specifics here. Do you believe any woman should be able to be on the front lines?
Well, I mean, I can speak
Or qualified.
at least to what you just explained.
Yeah.
If they're like they are currently, and I imagine forever will be, are held to a specific physical standard that allows them to fulfill every aspect of the role, including
Right.
medevac extraction, whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it, then why would that be any different if it was a female, if they were
That's right.
required to?
That's right.
do the
And
same
a
thing?
guy could flunk out of that, and a woman could flunk out of that. The standard is what it is. So if you
Yeah.
pass, why not?
I don't know, guys. You're kind of moving me on it. What's the other factor that I've thought about? There's only one time where I actually had this dialogue, so, and that's our next segue. It's the dialogue, like actually speaking these things out and moving. Like you're pulling me towards that direction, is to say, yeah, definitely. But you guys had to have a little patience with me and that's not all there. I think that's the main reason why I wanted you to be on here, is that I think that I could say something as radical as, I believe in infanticide. We should be able to kill babies right outside of the womb. If they pop out and there's something wrong with them, their eye just then we should just go ahead and put them in the bucket of chemicals. And then you'd still have a conversation with me.
Yeah.
Is
I
that-
hear why?
is that-
That's what matters.
Let's clarify that
No.
is. Yeah.
Wait, so I'm sorry. What's your stance on infanticide?
Yeah, we need to clear this up for people right now.
You're pro. Pro?
That was just an example. Now they're gonna take me out of context.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I don't know if you're aware. I'm trying to get canceled. But is there any position a radical position that I could take where you would be like, no, we need to like stay away.
Oh, like I would not talk to you ever again
Yeah,
kind of thing?
yeah.
Not really. I mean, if you did, I'd like to hear about it and talk to you about it.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's, almost 8 billion people on the planet. You're not going to agree with every single one. And
I'm trying to-
the worst thing you can do, sorry?
I'm trying not to cut you off. Go ahead.
Forgot what I was going to say. You got to talk now. Basically, you can't agree with everybody. So, I mean, if you just box people out of your life, then that kind of falls into that censorship thing. You're making your own echo chamber of people that just only agree with what you believe,
Mm.
and that's dangerous. I think you should have people who challenge your ideals of the world every day in your life. Should be your best friend, your spouse, your kids, whatever.
Yeah, but is there any like line?
I mean, it depends on how devout of it you hold or
Like
are.
like if we showed up for coffee and we got coffee together and then I was like, this coffee doesn't taste good, and I just threw it in your face. Would that be crossing the line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them the story of when I did that to you?
Oh,
He never did that to me.
okay.
I never did that to him.
No.
I was really hoping you'd take that and run with it and like give like the
Yeah.
best fictional story of me throwing coffee in your
Third degree
face.
burns, but that's how I met my wife. So we're all good.
I didn't tell you I'm a woman. Hold my hand.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So, marriage. How do you feel about it? Can you be married to more than one thing?
Like an object?
Can you?
What are we talking
Yeah. Can you marry Can you marry animals?
No.
Let's dial it down from like whoa, whoa to no.
You cannot marry an animal.
Animals. No.
Mm-mm.
They can't say yes or no. You can't.
Children. Can you marry children?
Mm-mm.
No, sir.
Okay. What's the age limit to marriage?
26.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah.
You just said that. Couldn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. People are of different maturity levels. I don't know. I mean, my suggestion would be wait. Don't get married early.
That's what you did.
Wait.
And
That's right.
every person I talk to who says that they say not to wait.
That's 'cause
I had
It-
Gene on here, and he told me that
Get married right away.
yeah.
Look, if you are in a committed relationship with somebody and you're like, this is the person I want to marry, then I agree. Like, if you know you want to marry somebody, don't mess around. Like, get to it. If you are single and you are not, no, wait. What's the rush? That's my thought.
Sorry. Can you repeat that again? I looked at Bennett, and he saw me drinking the water. I knew that he wanted some, so then I put it there. Did you want some of that water?
Yeah, can I have a sip?
Yeah,
out of
you
that
can
one?
have a sip of the water. Anyway,
All right.
take two.
Take two. Here we go. So I think if you're in a committed relationship with someone and you're like, I want to marry this person, then I don't think you should wait. Just go for it. Like, get married. If you're not, if you're just single, then what's the rush? I think take your time. Marriage will come when it's ready.
Should you live with your fiance?
Ooh.
Well, depending on who you ask. I would say yes.
Oh, did we ever find out if Bennett? We could hear Bennett.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Dang it. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to explain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it's important. Like, I feel like you gotta. I mean, I don't know. It's different for everybody. Like, some people are more flexible with certain things. Like, if one of you's a person who, wants to organize every drawer in the house, and it has to be organized, and the other's like, whatever. If it fits in the drawer, it fits. We'll call it good. And that's like a breaking point for you because you deal with it, for a year because you're living together. Then that's a problem area. You can work on it, split up, whatever. But I mean, if you go into
Is that a red flag for you? It's like
No,
OCD.
No, not like that at all. But yeah, I mean, like, I think it's important. You need to see each other for who they are as people behind, being in a social situation, like, what do you do on a Sunday where you have nothing to do? What type of that, I think, describes a lot of
I hang out with two losers in my basement.
Yeah, for real.
I was speaking on your behalf, Jake.
I'm aware.
Jake has a different view on that.
Yeah, I do. And look, I'm not
Judgment free. We're not judging.
Judgment free. Judgment free. Judgment free. I'm not judging anybody, except for people who live with their fiancés. Clearly kidding. No, I'm not judging anybody. But I think that, I have been married once for 8 years, so I am no expert on marriage.
You know what? Not to cut you off, but to cut you off, is that in my head I was like, oof. Why is that? Could put that on hold. Brittany, put it on the ticker here. Later we need to talk about why is it that I think that? Why is it that I think of marriage as like, oh.
All right.
Or we could just sum it up and say it's the culture. Or you would say society.
Huh? Society.
Anyway, continue.
So we're talking about living together.
Yeah,
All
living
right. Got it. And then we'll circle back to why you hate marriage. Perfect.
So what you're saying is you hate marriage. Yeah, a little. I mean, like, there is a little. But go on.
All right, cool. So
Love my parents' marriage though. They're great. They're awesome.
Sorry.
Go on.
All right, so I think that for me and my wife, and I think it's true for most people who have healthy marriages, and this is not based on anything but my own sort of anecdotal friendships and whatnot, but I think that, the little stuff, like whether your underwear is on the floor or whether you put it in the hamper or, where the spoons go or don't go or whatever, is inconsequential, right? It doesn't matter in your marriage. What matters is the big stuff. Like, are you and your partner of the same kind of ethos? Like, is your core being the same, right? In other words, that you love each other, you serve each other, you want to see the best for one another. And if that's a yes, and you commit to it always being a yes, which requires work, right? It requires constantly reminding yourself and just being a servant to your spouse. And I think that all the other stuff, you argue about it all the time. My wife and I argue about the stupidest stuff all the time. But in our core, we're the same. Like, we have the same viewpoint of what our marriage is. And I think that, when you enter a marriage, it's good to keep the major things major and keep the minor things minor. And I think that oftentimes when people move in, and this is certainly not every time, but oftentimes when people move in ahead of time, they see it as a trial. Like, we're putting this potential marriage on trial. So it's not even a marriage yet, but we're going to put it on trial. And we're going to see if it can work. And I'm like, why? You're already entering it with a pass or fail mentality. You're already entering this thing thinking this could fail, versus that's the person I want to marry and I'm committed to making this work forever. Like, entering a marriage with that kind of resolve right from day one is different than entering a cohabitation with someone that could be pass or fail. You know what I mean? I think it's a different mentality that you bring when you do that. So, and that's my opinion, for whatever it's worth.
What do you think, Sam?
Oh, me?
Also, why does marriage make you feel ugh?
It was almost a Freudian slip. Like, I would like to see marriage as something that is attainable, just at ground level. No, come over here. I need some dog right now for this one right here. What was the question again?
Why does marriage make you feel so ugh?
Why does it make me feel uncomfortable? I think I don't know. You know, I would like to be married. But I don't know.
Is it the thought of being married, or is it? Do you feel like the age you are, you're being kind of passed up type of?
Yeah, I think I'm absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, you are. But, I mean, I'm asking your opinion on the matter.
No, I think that probably gets in the way of it. Is a little bit of pride but I don't know. I'd like to get married at some point. I think that the idea though is so far away. It seems even more even less visible than a dream. It seems so far away. And so whenever I think about it, then it's like, dang, I got a lot to do in myself, just in my daily, like, hell's bells. I can't even get up on time. Like, I've been working at that for a long time. Did it for a real long time. And then now for like the past 4 months, haven't been waking up on time. So I think that, that it's not that I go oof at marriage. It's more that I go oof at like the things that I need to do. You know, it's like it's just a reflection of like, damn, I'm pretty far. I mean, I said the word damn at least 10 times in the past 2 minutes, right? Probably should cut down on that. If I ever want to find that special someone, there's a place and time for the word damn. And it's only in, help me out, somebody. Where's the Hoover Dam?
Hoover Dam?
Yeah, where's it at? Like
Nevada.
Nevada. And the time and place is only in Nevada.
Oh, there we go. Got it. We landed that plane.
Yeah.
It's a group effort, but we got it there.
Yeah. So that's what I think. That's kind of like I guess when I break it apart, it's not necessarily that I look down upon marriage. It's just that
Right.
it's like me. I've got to.
I feel like it's at the end of a long road.
Yeah. Because you told me one time you were like, you know, well, essentially that. You gave me a little exercise to do.
Yeah.
Still need
That's
to do that.
That's right.
Hopefully that homework isn't due till next week. Can we just extend it?
Hey, man, you do what you want to do.
Okay, cool.
It's a good exercise though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't do it intentionally. Basically what I'm talking about is writing down the things that that you are looking for in a wife, partner. Sure. Partner is, I don't like that word.
Oh, okay. Wife then. Whatever.
Could we mute his microphone again? But yeah, you'd write down things that you would like to see in your partner, and then basically turn that on yourself and like see like what is it that you need to do.
Right. What would this person want to see in their partner?
Yeah.
This is the person that I idealize as my wife now, or spouse, or partner. And what would this person want to see in their partner? And so that's the person you got to be.
So as a podcaster, a failing podcaster, oftentimes I look at, I would like to have a very successful wife. And so as soon as I put that down on my list, then it turns on me and I'm like, well, better go to college. Or I'd better, I don't know, share this on Facebook. What's up, world? Yeah, so
All right.
does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm satisfied with that. Are you satisfied with that answer?
I think so. I think
Okay.
that actually was the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Strung out paragraph that made sense this whole entire time we've been sitting down here together.
Nice. Well, and let me add something to that exercise.
Okay.
So you'll never achieve it, right?
Okay.
Like you die trying. That's the point.
Yeah.
You marry out of your league so that you die trying to be the best partner that you could possibly be for that person that you married, you know? So it's not that, oh man, at the end of this really long road, I get to get married. It's you're on a road, and at some point you get married, but the road keeps going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So do you
sorry.
Huh?
Maybe your anxiety associated with marriage could be just that your goal is maybe even short-sighted. Maybe you should be saying who you want to be with when you retire or start a business with. Or,
Ooh,
This is-
that's good.
yeah.
This is moving a little bit too quick, buddy.
Oh, okay, sorry. My bad.
We're still working.
Wait,
on
is that what you're
Facebook
saying?
in the podcast, so we can
Um,
check that off the list.
so Jake, I would consider you to be a mentor to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Sam.
Yeah, Jake here has said some things that make me feel like an awful human being.
But in the right way.
Yeah, just in the right way.
That's why I'm here.
Guys.
Oh.
Anyway, how do we get out of that? Marriage.
Mm.
Dang, so you think that you should live with someone?
Well, for me,
Okay.
it doesn't mean it has to be for
Okay.
you.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, you're kind of dating my sister. So,
No, not even close to that point, brother. It's been, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
wow.
with her.
Taking it slow. Well
Yeah.
done. Can I give you a cheers to that?
Yes.
For those listening, I'm not going to give you the details on that. I'm just going to leave it in the abyss, and you can just guess. When did it? I have a question for you. So, girls that you're friends with,
Mm-hmm.
then you get married.
Yeah. What happens?
to them?
All right. So. All right. So for me, I got married and moved to Kansas City in like one fell swoop. So I lived in Miami, Florida for a long time. Then I left there, came to work for Go Project, and moved to Haiti for 2 years. Dated my wife long distance. And then a month before we got married, I moved to Kansas City, married my wife, and here we are. So it wasn't like I had an established circle of friends at all in Kansas City before I moved here. So it's probably not the best person to ask this question to. But at our wedding was one of my best friends of all time who I knew in Miami, and she was awesome. We were super, super tight, super close. And I remember having a conversation with her once, a long time ago, and she mentioned that. She was like, whichever one of us gets married first, like, that's basically the end of our friendship. And I was like, no, it's not. I mean, come on, we can still be friends. Like, why would that change anything? And she came to our wedding, and it was normal, nothing weird. And, I went off married. She moved back to, or went back to Miami. And slowly over time, we just sort of fell out of touch. And I don't know if that's because I got married and, I don't know, some part of me was fulfilled that wasn't previously, or if there was just distance and it just naturally sort of happened that way, as a lot of friendships do. But every time I think of her, I think about that and I feel a little bit guilty. Like, damn, she was right. Like, I got married. But then I'm like, no. There's just, she lives in Miami. I haven't been back to Miami in 8 years. And, so I don't know. I think that if you have female friends and then you get married, then I don't think there's any reason why those friendships have to end. I think they have to change, right? They got to make space for your spouse, which is the same with all your friendships. Every friendship that you have has to now make space for your spouse. And if it doesn't, it's not going to last, regardless of whether it's a guy friend, a girlfriend, or whatever.
Did she get married too then?
No, not that I'm aware of. I think she's still single.
Dang. I can see why you feel a little guilty. Right?
No, I'm not. I don't feel guilty for her singleness. And
Yeah,
she
not for her
might be
singleness,
married,
but what I'm saying though is that, like, in that context, is that it's like,
like, it was me. It was my marriage that ended our
yeah,
friendship.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I think when people get married, they're more likely to stay in contact with each other.
Right.
Well, especially if you live in the same city.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. But I don't believe that you can't remain friends with someone of the opposite sex once you get married. I think it needs to change.
Can I give my 2 cents?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Hey, man, it's your show.
Yeah.
Is that-
Entertain.
You're in
Entertain
charge.
away.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
It was. So, what were we talking about again? I'm kidding. I think that if she becomes friends with my wife, then it's like, cool. But if my wife doesn't like her, then it's like,
Yeah, if your wife doesn't like a friend of yours, period, that's going to be
and
a
not because of
tough-
like, not
that's
because
gonna
of
be a
like
tough-
jealousy, but because of like,
Does it matter if that friend's the opposite sex
No.
at that point? If she's like, oh, I don't like your friend because he's, you know.
well, I don't think I would ever like if I got. My mom would want me to say when I get married. I'm gonna go get you guys some waters. You guys just go ahead and chit chat. You guys look thirsty.
I'm good. But all
You're
right.
good.
Yeah.
Well, yours is out. So.
Mine is out.
Okay.
If you want to get me a water, you can, but you
Okay.
don't have to get me a water
Here,
because
let
I'm
me
doing
let me
fine.
get the water. It's
Well,
it's your show.
I kind of have to. I have to.
All right. Well, you can both go play swords. I'll entertain.
Okay. Down with that.
Usually, what I do is I pick something off the shelf and then I sell it.
So that's what I have to do. I have to sell your merch.
Yeah, you can do that. So
All right.
just and your camera's
All right.
gonna be this
How
one right
about
here.
The gold Harry Potter glasses.
All right. This is difficult. I'm going this way. Let them know that they're going to be available on my website when they make one.
Got it.
You can price them at whatever you want.
Well, solid gold Harry Potter glasses should probably be a lot of money.
Oh wait, no, it's this one. Yes.
Got it. Oh, this is awkward. I'll just check my email. Hey, Brittany,
Yes.
how many people are watching?
At the moment, it says 0.
Oh,
It's going down from like 1 to 5.
got it. Got it. Well, good. I thought that I was letting some folks down, but I'm not, so that's great.
Did you sell it?
Yep.
Anyone buy it?
Yeah. $75. They're gonna Venmo it to me. I'll take my cut and then I'll give you the rest.
Back check that, Brittany. Because I ain't buying it. What? Hey, what is the time?
8:37.
8:37. How late do you have?
I'm good.
Okay. Damn. Wish I would have got the cigars. Do you smoke cigars?
I have American Spirits. Those are cigars, basically.
Well, and then not only that, but it's also really cold, and I would have to open up the windows. I've thought about getting a humidifier, or like a humidor.
For cigars, you mean a box?
No. Like basically a hose that hooks up to the window
yeah.
that will like suck out all the smoke. So, I sang Bennett a song.
It was fabulous.
Did you like it?
I did. I also did not do what you sang in the song, which is good. For us
Yeah.
both.
We didn't play swords, by the way.
No.
Okay, good.
Let's clarify that. I told him not to pee in the sink. Or wait, no.
You said the opposite of that, but
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't ask.
Ooh, I got like heartburn. I don't really know what heartburn is. I have a pressure in my chest. Is that heartburn?
Is half your body going numb? Smell toast?
Small toes.
Do you smell toast?
Oh, no.
Okay. Then you're not
Oh.
having a stroke, so you're good.
Okay.
You have chest pain. I'm worried about you.
Yeah, well, my sternum is like, I don't know. You have any friends with protruding sternums syndrome?
Mm-mm.
P.S. S. That was impressive that it took me that long. Not really. You know, like it's okay. It's not called that, but he called it that, I think. But it's like it has like this. Their chest like goes in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've
Never met anyone like that. Okay.
Next topic.
Elephantitis. Got any friends with elephantitis?
I mean,
Lung disease. COVID. Have we talked about COVID yet?
what's it called when
2020.
you have an S-shaped spine? What is it? Scoliosis. I know a couple people with that.
Less interesting than COVID.
Yeah, I know.
Let's talk about COVID. So none of us are wearing masks. Why? Why is it? Why aren't you wearing one? Aren't you scared that you're gonna harm your children?
No.
Jeez.
No, I'm not.
Slow down, brother.
I'm sorry. When I went upstairs, I took a shot of water.
Mm.
That'll get you.
It
Get
will.
you
That rehydration.
There is plans for that in the future, by the way. Is that there's going to be a little cabinet there for cigars and whiskey.
Nice.
Anyway, I put you on the spot. Didn't mean to do that.
No, that's fine. I think that kids are surprisingly resilient to COVID, from everything that we can gather so far. So I'm not that concerned about my kids. I'm more concerned about like my parents, you know. But you know, with my travel, I get tested every time I leave the country and every time I come back. So I was tested 2 weeks ago and it's negative. I have to get tested. That reminds me, on Thursday this week. So if it's positive, I'll let you know.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
That kind of reminds me of the time. Never mind.
I mean, we all probably have it after last night, so.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to know what happened last night?
Mm-hmm.
We sat in a circle and we talked. And we played the
That's
game Would You Rather. Or I'm sorry. We did do that earlier, but we also played Never Have I Ever.
Mm.
I lost every time. So if you guys ever want to play a game, let's do it right now. Never have I. Are we doing this?
I don't know. Is this going to be appropriate for kids?
Yeah, you're right.
Got future employers who might see this.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, sorry. My bad. Usually when people talk about that, I tell them I got a green screen right there and we can make our own news station.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. So you'll hire me if I can't get hired.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sure. If you get fired, then you're definitely hired. What do you want to do? What would you do if you had a green screen and all these cameras? Tell me what you would. Tonight on The Price is Right. What would you do if you had all of this equipment? The lights, the cameras.
This is like a legit streaming setup that you have with multiple camera angles.
Yes.
I dabbled in the Twitch streaming when that was like a blossoming thing. So that's
Mm.
what I do. That's where I'm most comfortable, I guess.
Gaming?
Yeah.
What would you play? What would be the game of choice?
If I was a big time top tier streamer, it'd probably be, I don't know, League of Legends, World of Warcraft. I'm one of those.
You
nerds.
played WoW?
Yeah, long time since it came out.
Me and Jake have had discussions about World of Warcraft. I'm kind of a WoW geek.
Ooh.
Yeah, or I was. It's in and out.
Yeah.
Really, the game is absolutely terrible now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just become absolutely garbage.
You're gonna see how Shadowlands is, right?
Basically, what they are trying to do, what is happening in America, or like the aim that of what the more leftist ideology is wanting to go in, happened in World of Warcraft, and it's absolutely terrible now.
So you're
Like-
saying WoW currently is like a future representation of society in America as we know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like WoW Classic is like the representation. So World of Warcraft came out what 20 years ago?
Yeah. Well, yeah, 2004.
Wow.
16, yeah, it was a 16-year anniversary today.
16
Wow.
years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, 16 years.
16 years
That's
ago.
amazing.
And when
So,
that game first came out, I was playing RuneScape and then jumped onto the WoW wagon.
I feel like everybody did.
Well, so RuneScape is a lesser of the two. It's like you've heard of Atari, right?
Yeah, I owned an Atari.
Great. Okay. Well, RuneScape is like the Atari of like Sega Genesis.
Ah, got it. So it's the best.
No,
Not
wait, Sega Genesis-
rapidly.
you're right. It's more like the Sega Genesis is to RuneScape as to Xbox 360 is to World of Warcraft.
Yeah, yes, that is an apt.
Good comparison.
Mhm.
All
Where
right,
was
so
I going with
World
this?
of Warcraft comes on the scene and just dominates because it's just
Yeah.
way better than everything else out there.
Thank you.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. So it comes on, and then it just everybody freaks out, and like that game just blew up.
10 million players
Oh,
consecutively for what, like almost a decade?
Yeah.
straight?
Good
Yeah.
grief.
Yeah.
10 million people
10
are
million
logged on to World of Warcraft playing right now.
I don't know about
no.
right
It's
now,
absolutely. It's been
not.
cut in half
Oh,
at
The
least.
first 10 years of its release, it was about 10 million, I think was their average.
wow.
Yeah.
And that's-
24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So then the expansion came out, which was the first one was Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
So Burning Crusade came out in I want to say 2007.
Mhm.
Okay. And then it got even bigger. I mean, that expansion, people didn't think that, some people didn't like it, whatever, but overall it grew even more, I believe. Then in 2011, I want to say 2009 maybe, Lich King expansion came out.
I think it was 9 or 10. 2 or 3 years is usually what they do.
Yeah. So, and then they came out with a couple, and then, but it got progressively more progressive. As in, it used to take somebody like 3 weeks to get to like level 20. Like 3 weeks. And I say 3 weeks, and I mean like playing at least 5-6 hours a day.
Mm.
You follow me on this?
Mm.
Just to level 20.
Out of
6.
Out of 60 at that time, and then each expansion
Oh, wow.
it grew from 60 to 70 to 80 to 90 to 100. Now
So
it's
you-
up to 120.
you're working on
Well,
this
they-
game for like a year, basically.
Yes,
I never got to 60 in vanilla World of Warcraft.
I didn't either.
I
Yeah,
never
and
Wow.
here's the thing is, yeah, you would die, and then you would have to go to a this cemetery. It would like spawn you as like a ghost, and you had to run back to your body. And so oftentimes you would do that, and then you'd respawn, and then but your health is at like a quarter,
Mhm.
right? And you'd respawn like around all of these,
The things that just
spiders
killed you.
or like zombies or whatever it is that you're around, bats, whatever. And big bats, not like little tiny bats, big bats, big old tarantulas. Like it's a
Tarantula bats. Got it.
Terrifying.
this game is awesome. And then you'd spawn, and then you'd have to just like immediately start fighting them. But anyway, so what happened was later on, they simplified it. They wanted more and more kids to play the
Right.
game,
Right.
and kids, I think, overall got dumber. Okay, that's not right. Let me back that up. They didn't get dumber. They got less of a shorter attention span. So, whereas we would spend 2 days just getting to like level 5, you know, 6, 7, 8 hours.
Max level.
Yeah.
Days now.
Yeah, and so now today in probably 2 hours you could get to like level 20, 30, something like that. Like that's how
Got it.
much it became saturated to
Right.
anybody and everybody can hop on there and get to level 20 or whatever.
It's gotten
But-
to the point where instead of like your knowledge and skill of the character you play is less relevant than what character or role you play. Now you can play any like X role and it just wins against everything else.
Got
It
it.
doesn't matter how good you are on the other end because they just beat you. That's
Got
kind
it.
of where it's gotten to.
Yeah, and then there's also twinks, and you can't really do PvP,
Yeah.
which there's like 3 different ways you could go about walking the world of Warcraft. Number 1, PvE, player versus environment. That basically means that you just go out and you quest and you just hang out and you just go and you.
Yep.
And there's also a twist in each one of these. You can either choose like a role-playing realm or a not role-playing realm. Role-playing realm, little strange.
It
They'll
is.
be like, "Hey, Mister, your name. Would you like to?" Like instead of just being like, "Hey, can you help me with this quest?" It's like, "I have to go and slay 3 of these werewolves. Shall you partake in thy
Slaying?
expedition?"
Yes. People, yeah.
If people get into it, do you have any stories of that?
There's like videos of other players who put it up there of like them running into weird exchanges between characters. Like there was one about that jumps to mind. This guy had to take what race did you play or what faction? Alliance or Horde?
I was Alliance.
Good. So you know the
Wait, why is that good?
because I play Alliance.
We're totally nerding out right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So you know that tram that's goes from Stormwind to Ironforge, right?
yeah, definitely.
Okay. This guy was taking that, and as he was getting on, he saw people typing, but he couldn't see like where they were, because the typing's global, but it doesn't like tell you where the person is that's actually typing it. You just know they're close. So
It's
he
kind of
went-
like a blog, or like a
yeah,
whatever.
more like a chat board.
chat board. Yeah.
Okay.
And these
So-
2 people were like role playing a sexual encounter in World of Warcraft in this little this desolate place where nobody goes anymore. And he just recorded it and it's on YouTube. It's pretty funny. But he like messes with them and then they end up leaving and cursing him out.
I was hoping that you had
Right.
an experience where like you were playing the
No.
game.
But they were full on,
They were
fully bought into their
involved.
role.
Yes, they were.
They were most likely meaning to private message each other, but it was going public.
Oh,
Like that
man.
bad?
They took
Oh,
all of the
man.
armor off their characters, so they were just wearing like the base model that they drew in on the characters. It was interesting. But
So YouTube has a question on every time I put this up. Is this targeted towards children? Just wanted to throw that out there. So my experience was at the Garrison. You know where the Garrison is?
yeah,
In the continent of Azeroth, in Elwyn Forest, there's a little place called the Garrison. It's where you can get the Hogger quest. I just really wanted to just
everybody who's ever played WoW knows.
yeah. Go ahead and put WoW in the tags, please, because this is
We're
real.
going deep. Or
So
maybe not. I don't know.
just hold on here. I had never like role played on the game. Let me just go ahead and make that very clear. Is that I never role
So
played.
is this your first role playing experience? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear about
Oh
it.
yeah. So somebody put in the chat like where school is in session at the Garrison, and I'm like, sweet. I am really really bored because this game has gotten too easy. Okay, I'm in Elwyn Forest. You know what they say: when in Azeroth, go to the Garrison and role play. So I went in there and like it was on the top floor, and there's like this school at the Garrison, and so everybody's sitting down, and like you have like werewolves, and you have Draenei, which are like aliens, and then you have like humans, and everybody's just in their school uniforms or whatever, and or like the equipment, the armor that most looks like school uniforms, linen T-shirt.
Right.
So I join in and I'm like, oh, cool, school, awesome. And I'm like, it's kind of weird, but okay. And then after that, they're like, okay, now it's lunchtime. Stupid. So then we go down there, and then there's like these picnic tables. You can like sit down at the picnic tables on the game. It's fairly good graphics, and so I laid on the table because like that's just my personality. They didn't like that. They thought like I wasn't role playing, but it was like in real life I would be doing that. I would be laying on the picnic table. Duh. So they tried kicking me out, but I ended up just like sitting down next to the cute girl.
As you should.
Didn't mean to admit that. So after lunchtime, then it got real weird. So then it was time for gym, and apparently in the basement of the garrison. Hold on, I gotta pull myself together here because this is weird. In the basement of the garrison, and I'm already kind of getting wigged out and getting ticked off that they're telling me to get off the table. So in the basement, there is like this. It looks like a prison shower. Okay? I mean, there's just a drain in the middle of the floor, and then like there's like shower heads all around. And so they go down there, and then I go down the steps, and they're all taking off their clothes. And when I mean like their clothes, like their linen t-shirts and like their leggings. And I'm like, all right, this is getting really, really weird. I'm out. But then they took it up to like a level 11, right? And they said, okay, strip club is in the back of the garrison. So I'm like, I gotta see this. No, after that, I went and just, I said, I'm not going to be playing PvE role playing any longer. So that's number one is PvE. I'm bringing it full circle here. Then there's PvP. PvP is like Call of Duty style. I mean, like you get into a match and like it could be capture the flag. It could be capture the bases, headquarters. It could be that orb game was pretty awesome that they came out with after Pandarian, where you collect orbs and you had to be in the middle and then you get
like,
points.
What do you call that? What game would you call that? I don't know. But basically, you like hold a ball on your character and then you have to live while the other team tries to kill you. Whoever holds the ball, you get a point per second.
Nice.
So that's PvP. Is that it's just like
Got it. Lots
you get
of
on the same
games
team and
within
it's
the game.
Yeah, and it's also Horde versus Alliance. So when you choose your faction, you don't know what the other team is saying because they speak Hordish. Well, it's a language that they speak.
Yeah.
Horde, and then the humans speak regular. I mean, when you're typing,
Sure.
it's English. And then after PvP, then there's what's the other one? PvP, PvE, and
Those
then
are the two.
oh,
Well, PvE is bigger because you have like dungeons and raids and things you can do.
sure, yeah,
But
yeah.
PvE, you just play against the game itself. So like raids or dungeons, you go in and you kill a boss, and there's certain like mechanics the boss has where you can't stand in this circle here that spawns randomly, but you have to stand in that one over there with a certain amount of people. So there's like a lot of coordination that's involved.
Got it.
Times. PvP is just
And then it's also not just the dungeons.
Just a melee.
oh yeah.
Nice.
The dungeons, they start at like 5 people. So then you have like your damage guy, your tank guy, your healer guy, and your damage guy. I said that in a weird, but then it grows to raids where like there's like 40-man raids.
Yeah.
So there's 40 people all playing this game. I mean, we've all seen Leroy Jenkins. You remember seeing that?
Mm-mm.
Jake.
That's a piece
You're
of like,
embarrassing
internet
me.
history.
Leroy Jenkins?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, fellas.
Okay.
Letting
I'll
you
send you a
down.
link.
Yeah.
Oh, this heartburn that's probably not heartburn, maybe a stroke. It's acting up again. I don't know what it is.
Go numb on one side, then be alarmed.
Okay.
It's a sign of a heart attack.
This podcast would totally blow up. Guy has stroke on podcast. I caught a fly the other day while I was doing the podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, we got to clip that.
Yeah.
We're gonna clip that now. It was
Like,
my yeah.
Right
It was
after
my 16th or 17th fly that I had caught. That's a lie. 12th, 13th. I don't know. I lost track.
Another
I'm kind of like a in the fly catching community. They call me they just call me Sam.
Yeah.
But you played games?
Yeah, I did.
Hopscotch.
Yeah, I had a circle that I would run down the road with a stick and just like, chase after it in the UK with high socks.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh.
No, like what? So
It's like that's why we're so. Yeah, I did that too.
no, I played like me and my brother. I remember that our first game console was a Super Nintendo, and that thing was awesome. We got Street Fighter 2 and went at it for. I mean, that was like Street Fighter 2 was the greatest game that had ever been created, and stood that way for a long time. And then we got the Nintendo 64 and GoldenEye. GoldenEye was the
Ooh.
best.
GoldenEye was.
I mean, we had so many
Odd Job when you threw the hat.
through his hat.
Oh,
I mean that game
Genius.
is it's awesome. It's still
Yeah.
awesome. Still awesome.
with the golden gun and like. Was that the one where you could where the Sentinel was introduced, or is
No,
that
that was the one.
something fire?
Yeah.
Fire Eye. Is that it?
I don't know.
James Bond Fire
Uh,
Eye, or
That
like?
was a gen
I don't know.
after. That was like GameCube generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
then,
no, it was on 64. I think.
was it? I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe. So and then I got a PS2. Remember that thing was amazing, and we were like, "Whoa, the graphics on this is just outrageous." Blew our minds, and that was about it. Like after that, I don't remember what happened, but I wasn't gaming anymore.
Grew up.
Oh no, then I got into Counter-Strike on the PC. And Counter-Strike was awesome. My brother worked for a web development company who had an office right across the street from my office. And their office was they would shut down early so that they could all play Counter-Strike and host it on their own
That's
server.
awesome.
And so I would like go into a conference room in my office and then I'd play against them. And it was so fun. So fun. So we did that for a while, and that was probably it. That was probably, I don't know, early 2000s, when Counter-Strike was sort of blowing up. Yeah.
Did you ever play
That was it.
Battleground? Is that the one that was kind of the
PUBG?
no Battleground?
Battlefront?
No,
I don't know what
Battleground.
you're talking about, no.
I don't
I
know.
think that's what it was.
I don't know that.
Would you rather play chicken pickle the rest of your life, and you can't play video games, or play video games the rest of your life, but you can't play pickleball?
I'm gonna have to go with B there, Captain. I don't know what pickleball.
You don't know what pickleball is?
It's like it's. I need to be careful. So people are very, very passionate about pickleball.
Okay.
They're very passionate about
Alright.
pickleball.
Is it heated?
It's.
I've said some things that were not
it's-
kosher around people who were real passionate about
It's
it.
like it's either like very small tennis or really large ping pong.
Okay,
Right.
Interesting.
Right. So
Alright.
it's like the half, like a half court size tennis court, but your racket it's kind of like a big ping pong racket, and the ball is sort of between a ping pong and a tennis ball. And anyway,
What's that called whenever like you precision or like dexterity, but like you're doing it with your whole agility, agile. Okay, yeah. So it is a it's like tennis for out of shape people, or it's ping pong with people who just don't have agility. I think
Right.
that's
Fair enough.
that's right. I remember.
That's probably-
I drove by a billboard, and they were hosting some big pickleball tournament somewhere in Kansas City, and they said, reigning national champions are coming in for this thing, and they had like the top 3 people in the country,
Wow.
like on the billboard like this posing, and I was looking at all of them, and I'm like, none of these people are athletes. They just drink beer all the time and smack pickleballs around, like. Anyway, but they're flying in. They're flying in because they're a big deal.
When is that? Can we go?
Oh, that was a while ago.
Dang,
was a
man,
while
you would
ago.
hype that up and
So is that what Chicken and Pickle's all about? That restaurant?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
funny story.
Now, it's a cool spot, even if you don't play pickleball. It's just
Yeah,
it's a cool
exactly.
spot.
That's what I was gonna say.
I
Is
like their
I've never
patio.
played pickleball there. They've got great chicken though.
Mm, okay.
Not a fan of the pickle.
All right.
Like the pickle on the. Yeah. Oh, I get it. They serve a pickle with all of their food.
Mhm.
I always thought it was referring to the pickleball.
It's probably a double entendre.
My bad, chicken and pickle. I've been advertising your name falsely. Do you have a favorite restaurant, Bennett,
Here?
in Portland?
Voodoo Donuts.
Yeah, I heard that the
Voodoo
donuts, like,
I've been there. It was good.
Really?
Yeah.
I
That's
heard-
next level.
I heard-
It's kind of like if you go to Portland, it's sort of like you have to.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
have to go
Touristy
to.
spot.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotta go.
That's
That's right.
that, and then also something else. I can't remember what the other thing was, but there's two things that like Portland was most
There's
known
there's
for.
that Thai
Strip
place.
They have the most strip
That's
clubs
it.
in the-
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Way to go,
Totally.
Portland.
Yep.
Number one.
200 in sound, and it's not even that big of a city.
Did you ever go?
Huh? I don't. Do we want to get into this? I had a relationship where one was a worker at one of those. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yes. But I knew her before and I knew her after, so it's not what you think.
Judgment-free zone, baby.
That's right.
Judgment-free zone.
I once did door-to-door sales. It was brutal. The worst job I ever had. And it was business-to-business sales. So I didn't go like to people's homes. I went to businesses. And you just walk in and you just pitch something. And our rule was you never skip a door. You go to every single door no matter what. Like that's the rule. Even if it says no solicitors, you just walk in there and act like you didn't read the giant sign that says no solicitors. And and there's no conversation, there's no how you just start pitching immediately. And so I was in Miami walking down this sketchy part of town, and it's like 11 a.m. on a Thursday, and my next door is a strip club. So I'm like, all right, got to go to every door. So me and
They taught you well.
me and a buddy that is with me, we always went out together, like in pairs. I think people got mugged a lot, so they sent us out together. So we walk in there, and it's like, man, if you're in a strip club at 11 a.m. on a Thursday, like things are not going well in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, all right, here we go. And so,
Did you at least like loosen the tie and like kind of unbutton it?
no.
No.
I got to make my pitch. I got to look good.
Just, Don Drapered it.
That's right. I'm like on 100% commission here. So,
Really?
yeah. So I walked in there, and there was like one guy. So we talked to that guy, and he's like, "Just leave me alone." And then, so my buddy's like, "Well, why don't you go back there and see if they'll let you talk to the girls in the back?" I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." So I walk up to the bouncer who's guarding the door, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm da-da-da-da," and I give him a little pitch, and he's like, "I don't want to buy this, but feel free to ask the girls." So I go into the back changing room, and there's like 6-7 girls sitting around. And I walk in, and I just immediately started pitching. Just didn't know hello. No, I just walked in and said, "Hey, I'm Jake," and I just and went through this pitch.
You didn't forget the eye contact part?
No,
Because I know
all.
that
Not
the
at all.
sales managers always talk about eye contact.
Yeah, it's very important. In that moment, excruciatingly important. And so, no, I mean everybody was clothed. There was nobody in there just
Okay.
naked, but. And
Except for this one guy in the corner. He was just-
he's like, "Hey, I'm Bob. I'll take one." Oh boy, no. So I ended up just hanging out for like 10 minutes, and they were like, they were super nice. Nobody bought anything, but they were super nice, and I made my pitch, and then I left, and it was just like the most surreal, weird, like sales call I've ever made in my life.
What were you selling?
I don't even remember. Like we had all these different things that we would sell depending on whatever the client was that month.
Okay.
So sometimes it was like It would be like Florida Marlins tickets. It'd be like this ticket book where you get like a bunch of different, you know, discounts on this and that, and 2 free tickets and whatever. And it's $50, and you know. And another time it was.
Wait,
some,
how
like,
old were you?
Let's see. 22, maybe.
Okay. I just
22.
imagine like 15-year-old Jay going into a strip club like, "Hi, how's it going?
And they're like, "Oh,
I'm here to sell
you're
coupons.
so cute. Come back here. What are you selling?
You got to talk to Bob."
Cookies. Oh boy.
I did that for a while.
That's
I
mine.
did a lot of business to business. Yeah. Went to sold copiers. That was not a sexy business. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like the most embarrassing story of
What about
selling
your
copiers.
biggest payoff?
My
How was
biggest
that?
payoff.
Ooh.
Like you sold 50 units to some guy.
Oh man,
nice.
my best month. Oh,
Yeah, dude.
I gotta tell you about this.
They
Yeah.
got the deluxe model.
So this 1 month, man, I'm telling you, I walked into this gym. It was a massive gym. Sold this guy like this copier, like the size of that. Like it was like the desktop model, but totally bought it. Got like 10% gross profit. For those who are listening,
Fat
that is,
numbers.
oh yeah.
In the copier world.
I was
That's
definitely
like-
going to be tinting my car that day. Putting it on credit, gonna pay it whenever. So I walked in there, I sold that one, and then there was this other business that I went into. That's the most embarrassing, is that I didn't know what I was doing.
Like you didn't know about what you were selling?
I just didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
I had a really, really piss poor manager. And so I was like told, you know, I went through the training and stuff and like, you know, numbers. So there's this one business and it's not even embarrassing. It was just like, why? Why won't you just talk to me? I see your numbers. You are a client of ours. You are paying, because the people who own the business before may or may not have like had some real bad ass salesmen. I mean, like, I was bragging about the 10% gross profit. I'm talking about like 100%. Okay, maybe not that much, like 80%. Trying to make the copier story more interesting. But no, I saw how much they were paying monthly, and I'm like, I could cut this in half, and you'd get new machines, and I'd still have like 40% profit, gross profit. And so I would go in there. I remember going in there the first time and like going in and trying to talk to them, and they're like, "It's our busy season. Like, well, you have to schedule another time to come in." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I walked out, and then like I called them, and they were like, "We told you," and like she's barking at me, and I'm like, "Damn."
Mm.
Yikes.
So then like I couldn't believe it too. So I went back to the papers, and I'm like, you know, I brought it to my absolute trash manager, and they're like, "You just, yeah, you know," and I'm like, they're getting screwed, like absolutely screwed. It was an architecture firm, so they had a wide format printer. This is definitely what I was wearing too. The same exact thing when I went in there. And they had a copier that was printing off, 20, 30,000 copies. Could we segue away from the copiers?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to go, Bennett?
Oh, you're asking me where I want to go.
Maybe that's
I
where-
was just
yeah.
saying- I
Oh
was
man, that's a lot of power.
Yeah, I was
Use it
condoning your
wisely.
choice to pivot. Let's see. What do you do now, Sam?
What do I do now? I hang Christmas lights.
Right. That's your full-time job?
That's my full-time job.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
I hang Christmas lights like 70 to 80 hours a week.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So do you get to go down to like the plaza and hang up those lights, or is that like?
Oh yeah, all of our accounts are commercial. No, it's all residential.
Oh really?
Yep. So we'll do like anywhere from 10. The other day we did 19 homes. 10 to 19 homes so far.
In one day?
In one day we did 19 homes, and one of them was a new home, where we had to. We carried like all of the we've got a spool of all of the sockets, right, every 12 inches, and then we have a spool of just like wire so that we can make our custom cords. And so we hop out and then pull out a bunch of wire and we start bulbing, and then we clip. The clips have to go on a certain way. If they go on a gutter, they go this way. If they go on the peak, then they go this way. If there's gutter guards, and we didn't realize there's gutter guards until I go up on the roof to start measuring, then we have to say, change all the clips. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, 19 in one day, and we do it from the top down. So when you think of hanging Christmas lights, you think of ladder, climbing up, right, put it in the, and then right there, I can reach that one, and then you go back down, and then like move the ladder over, and then the same process. No way, it's way more extreme than that. I'm pumped because Kyle, you met Kyle. Yeah. Kyle's going to be starting on Tuesday. Yeah, and he's going to see this, and it's wild. We'll just put up a ladder on the third car garage. We'll go up it, and I mean, these peaks, you would think like, oh my gosh, there's no way, but you know, you're climbing up like a valley, and you put pressure on both your feet, and then you grab onto the trim, and you climb up that, right, and then now you're right here, and then I'll get a little cocky with it sometimes and just like walk the peak all the way out there. And then they take a pole and then raise it up to us. The peak bulb is marked. So you lay it out, you get the peak bulb, you send it up to the guy on the top, and then I will hold that whole entire strand, whole strand, and I will hold it there, and I'll have one that's kind of out a little bit so they don't get tangled. Plant that peak bulb, plant this one, plant this one, plant this one, plant this one. Choose which side to go down. At the beginning of the season, it takes a second to roll into it because when there is nothing but concrete down below you and you're going down that, it's sketch, man. Yeah. It is really sketch. Like the other day, it was 3.5. You had to ask me a question about what I do. I love it. I absolutely enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I was like, this is wild. The last year, 2 years ago, we hung this one house, and it is probably 3 stories up the peak, right? 3 stories, maybe 4 stories. 5 stories to the 4 stories to the peak of it, and then it rides down. But it, I wasn't up there. Jake was up there, and he had to do this. Have you ever seen a house where it has like, here's the peak, and then they have like this other one that's like right here? You follow me on that?
Yeah.
Or like, so like here's the peak, and then there's like another peak that kind of like cuts away. It's hard to explain. So here's the peak right here, and then there's another peak right here.
Sure. So
to go down this peak, you actually have to hug this one.
Okay.
And then you have to get underneath it. Okay, so this is, it's about the size of my hand. So I have 1 foot on like this. Below me is 4 feet drop, or 4-story drop.
Unreal.
And then I'm putting my back to that. And then I'm turning, and then thankfully this one had like a wooden framing at the peak. So here's the peak, and then it had like this wooden framing deal. You follow me on that? And so I was able to grab onto that. But Jake, I remember last year being like, I can't do it, man. You got to just ladder it. If we ladder it, then it's steep. It's scary. It's like, we can't do that. I said, come on, man. Just do it. Quit being a... Hey, Mom. And he ended up doing it. And then this year, I finally was the one who ended up doing that house. And in that same position, I was like, oh, my gosh. Like, this is... That was the scariest moment that I had ever experienced. I mean, putting your back to 4 stories and then grabbing onto this thing. And not only that, it's not even a part of the frame of it. It is, you can see the nails that drove in these 2x4s that made this like thing. Yeah. So you're also holding on to the side, and like, it's, yeah. So that is what I do. I basically risk my dang life every single day. That way there is Christmas joy in all of the neighborhoods.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
You gotta go potty?
Maybe in a minute. I was just
Okay.
my jumpsuit's just riding up a little bit.
What's that like? Potty training?
What is it like to potty train a
Yeah.
small human being?
Yeah.
Bennett
like that subway.
What is it like? Well, I've only done it once, and it was pretty easy, to be honest. I think that my son is he was just an easy kid all around. But yeah, he when he was ready, he just switched, and that was it. I think he had one accident. That was it. It was easy.
So
Now, baby number 2, you know, who knows? Who knows what that's going to be like?
So in preschool, I had my preschool teacher wipe my butt. Not because I didn't know how. Just like
It's a power.
I didn't
thing.
feel like it, yeah. I hope to have her on the podcast someday. I
Well,
really do.
She'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any stories like that, Bennett?
Not really.
No.
No, I didn't have any outrageous school.
You ever poop yourself on accident?
Well, kinda.
Yeah.
I was probably like 8.
That doesn't count.
Yeah. That's still within, normal accidental poop range. So, no.
I think so.
I have a good sphincter. I'm good.
Okay. That's great. You hear that, fellas?
Got a good one.
That was that was too far. I went way past there. Good luck getting a new job. So we're coming to a close here. I don't like that. What's the next one? I gave you one. Go ahead. What's our next topic? Do something good because
And on a high note.
yeah.
Oh boy, pressure's on. The pressure is on. Gosh, I don't know.
Blasphemy. How do you feel about blasphemy?
For it, I'm definitely for it. No, blasphemy's bad.
You'll never be a politician. Just because of that one bit.
You can never run.
Yeah. In 2020, Jake Barreth said that he's for blasphemy. Do you think that's somebody who should be running your government? Do you think that that's somebody who cares about children?
And then the
Vote
soundbite.
Bennett Wood.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Pegged.
Vote today for
Oh,
Bennett
boy.
Wood,
Oh boy.
Senator of Missouri.
Look, from this podcast, that's not what they would pull out to torpedo my career. Like,
Yeah.
Which one would it be?
boy.
Which one?
Which part of this
Yeah, which one would be the
podcast would be the thing? Ooh, I like this one. This is a good topic.
Which one is most likely to destroy you?
To destroy.
you. I'm talking about the best comment out of anything that we've talked to today. I'm telling you, the one that's going to be huge.
I'm sorry.
That was good.
Huge.
That is good.
Thank you.
All right, so
Would you like to hear my Obama impression?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me. Just kidding. Okay.
All right. So this conversation, which part is most likely to torpedo my non-existent but potential future run at being a politician?
Yes.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not the last question because this is good. This is great. Just go. Just give it to me, Jake. I want to hear it. We've talked about a lot of things. Go ahead and give him the.
Probably all the time I spent in the Middle East. That's it. That's
Really?
it. No one wants to know that. No.
I would have thought the strip club story.
Oh yeah, that's
Whenever
that,
you're
yeah,
15
probably.
and your mother told you to go sell
Probably.
these coupons.
That's right.
I'm just adding the like media twist to it.
That's right. Son, go sell these food coupons. Mama needs some cigarettes.
Discovered podcast shows that Jake Barrett sold coupons to strippers in his teens.
Yeah, no, that's you're right. That's probably what would do it.
But what do you want to do when you grow up? We can't do this 3-person thing anymore. I can't do it.
You're a master.
Uh,
Master.
uh,
It's amazing.
uh.
What do I want to do when I grow up? Well,
Yes.
it's a good question.
Get it wrong and we'll...
How about dream jobs as kids?
I already
that's a
asked
good
him that.
one.
Oh, you
If I can remember it. I asked you
What
that
was
in the
my
last
dream
time.
job? Oh, I wanted to be a lawyer. That's what I wanted.
Yep.
That's such a boring
Yep,
job.
yep.
I mean, I wanted to be a cop first, and then I wanted
That just
to be a
didn't do
lawyer.
it in for you. You just...
Yeah, I think I saw a movie like what's the one with Tom Cruise and
Mission Impossible.
No, the one where he's
Tropic
a lawyer.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh man, he was brilliant in that one.
remember. He was a Jag.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm actually thinking. Hold on.
A Few Good Men. That was it. It was a great movie. I think it was that. I saw that
12
movie. and I
Angry
was like,
Men?
I want to do that.
10 seconds late, bud.
We should change this into a top show or top. What am I saying? A David Letterman. I can't use my words. A late night TV show. We just turn this sideways and then just get some 2 chairs and then. Would that be good?
Sure. Try it.
The problem is, I think the problem is that I can't keep a straight face so that I laugh.
Oh, they all do, don't they?
Yeah. But not like
I mean,
me.
for the punchline, you got to keep a straight face. type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And you can't just laugh at your own jokes.
No. Especially when other people. Can I tell you about the first time I did comedy?
Please.
You'd like to hear that?
Yes. Where you at? Give me the scene. Where are we at?
Downtown Kansas City.
Oh yeah.
At a comedy club.
Nah, it was like some bar, right?
Oh, that counts.
Yeah. Gosh. I was pooping. It started while I was pooping. I was on Tinder while I was pooping. When I'm on Tinder, I poop.
What about the other one?
I'm just working on my skit here, okay? I think the skit is actually telling the story of the first time. So let me just work through this here.
All right.
I just want to be Joe Rogan. Freudian slip. Okay. So, yeah, this girl said that she worked down at a bar. And so I said, cool. I'll go to that bar. I want to have a drink. So I go down there and I have a drink. And then I have another drink. Turns out there's like 3 other guys who were in there. Also, that's the end of the story. That's the punchline, damn it. Hold on.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. This is like some...
So anyway, it was comedy night.
Yeah. There's the smoke's coming in from under the door. All right, but please continue.
So it was comedy night. Stand up.
Open
mic night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm about 2 Buffalo Sweats in. I don't know if you've had one of those beers. They're delicious. And they're tall boys too. Those little tiny. And so I'm like, I'm going to put my name on the list. That was halfway through the first one, actually. So I did that, then the 2, and then called my name. Sam, come to the stage. It wasn't a stage. It was actually just all flat ground. Had to clarify that. And so downtown Kansas City, it was downtown Kansas City. I mean, the audience was, you got to play to the audience, right? So the audience was like, well, it was just Kansas City. Okay. I'm trying to set this up correctly. Here, hold on a second. Do I tell the part about me saying the borderline racist joke, or do I tell the part where the audience was like 50% black, 50% white people? Help me out here.
Which one should you tell?
Yeah. Do I tell that part? Which one do I go with?
How edgy are we trying to be?
What do you mean, how edgy? I mean, it wasn't. It was.
So wait,
it's a
hold on.
compliment at the end
Hold
of the
on.
day.
So you told a racist joke in front of a crowd that was 50% black, 50% white.
Well, it wasn't a racist. It was a joke. So there was no intent of like being,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to hear the joke?
Yeah, sure. Yes, this would help with context, I feel.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So anyway, it was the first joke that I said too. I didn't really have a joke. Like, didn't really prepare anything. But I was at the skate park earlier that day, and I saw this guy who was skateboarding, and he was black, and he was wearing a yellow Hawaiian T-shirt. So with that in my head, I was like, I gotta come out with a punch. Open mic night, whatever. I know you're like, can we just hear it? I said, I want to use that mic though, because it was more like that mic. I can take this out. This might switch the camera angle, by the way, just for me talking to it. And so they hand me the mic, and I go, do you know why I hate black people? Let me try that again. Do you know, and I did well when I delivered this. Do you know why I hate black people? And it just went dead silent. I go, because it looks so damn good in yellow. And it was almost an echo. And it was like, it was an echo. It was, it was, all the black people started laughing. And even some of them clapped.
Nice.
And then all the white people didn't even make a peep. Actually, no, I don't know what happened after that. And to be honest, I only saw like one black couple in there, and I was watching them and speaking to them, and they laughed, and I thought it was funny. So then the rest of the night, I talked about, like, had a conversation with them, and I asked them, I said, so why are you guys here? They're like, we're on a date. And I go, how did you meet? And they're like, we met on Tinder. And I was like, awesome. And I turned around and looked at the girl at the bar. I'm like, hey, killing it here. Check this out. 2 buffalo sweats in. This is awesome. Really rocking it. And then after that, I told a very embarrassing story, but we won't get into that. That's too far.
Got it.
So anyway, that was the first time that I had. The second time was in California. That was a little bit interesting.
Mm.
They called me white privilege as I was walking up to the microphone.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I told them I was gay and everything was cool. They laughed at every single joke that I had.
Oh no.
They weren't even jokes. They were knock knock jokes. Knock knock. And then go, who's there? I'm gay. Like, like, so anyway, about your career.
Mm.
From the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry.
If anything, I think this is gonna help. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I put you on that side of the table.
Got it.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was my first time doing comedy. And then there was a second and a third time. But after that, I was just like, I don't know. It didn't really do it for me.
Mm.
I didn't really want to pursue it.
Well, you're a behind-the-scenes type of guy, right? Like the whole production part of it.
Yeah. And I think that's why, like, it really, I do like talking to people, entertaining as well. But I think the core of it is that I really love the production side of it.
Yeah.
Like, if I could get somebody else to sit in this chair, awesome. Come do it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to produce a podcast for you. I even thought about taking all of this equipment or just the studio, taking professional pictures and saying like, hey, if you have a podcast in the Kansas City area and you'd also like to do it live on film, I'd love to be able to produce it for you at a cost, but give people the opportunity to use this.
I think it's a great idea.
Because clearly I'm blowing it. So.
But you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's right.
People just talk and don't do. You're doing, brother.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's a big. I'm curious about this. What you guys think of this? Is that I watched this movie the other day. It was I can't think of it. You were good at naming movies. Can you name the movie?
What about? All I know is that it's a movie that you watched.
Yeah, based on that. Fargo.
There we go.
I don't think that's a movie, but
It is.
oh.
And a show.
Yeah,
3
and now it's a
seasons.
show.
Anyway, he said oh, it was Zodiac.
Oh, with Jake G and
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
And then the cop who also plays in that magician movie. I think that's the guy. I don't know if they're the same. But he said something very like Jake Gyllenhaal's character. He said that why did he do it? Why was he doing it? And it was because nobody else would. And that like struck me hard. Is that like I think a lot of things that I do, this in particular, is that I do it because nobody else is doing it and somebody has to do it. I think that was it, is that somebody has to do this. So the purpose of this podcast, oh yeah, that's how we can close right here, is I don't have a freaking clue. 2 years ago, I was like tossing up the idea of doing this and going around, traveling actually. Went to California for about 5 episodes, to Wichita, to even Southern California, Fresno in Southern California, to Denver, sitting down with Ian and CJ, and asking the question, how did you meet Jesus? The first 7 episodes was that, I think. And then after that, it was, who is your God? And so then what followed from that was like, okay, let's do that. So who is your God?
Who? Like, I have a specific person? I don't have a God, Sam. I'm sorry. I'm a heathen.
Okay.
I follow Buddhism pretty closely, so I believe that God is in everything. I mean, your idea of God as a Christian person would also translate well into the idea that God is everything.
I never told you I was a Christian person.
You did, Sam, last night.
Oh, yeah. I did.
So, I mean, like, we agree on a lot of things. It's just, you know, the details of it get a little blurry between ours. But, I mean, you know, more or less, it's the same idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Human sacrifice. How do you feel about that?
Oh, human sacrifice?
Sure.
Buddhists are big into human
Yeah.
sacrifice.
No. I am against.
Life sacrifices?
Live sacrifice?
Life.
Life.
Yeah. Like burning plants or like incense or like,
I don't do any of that, no.
because that's totally what that is, right?
I have no idea.
Catholic Church does it all the time. They sacrifice incense.
I don't know.
Is that
I don't
considered a
understand the.
sacrifice?
I don't know either. I'm just
Oh.
kind of, this is off the top of the dome
No, Buddhists
at this
are
point.
generally vegan. They generally,
Are you vegan?
I used to be for 6 years.
Well, are you vegan now?
nice.
Not right now, no.
What happened?
What happened?
Yeah.
I just stopped. I don't
Moved to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Barbecue's that great.
No, I mean, I'm pretty much vegetarian, but I'm not vegan anymore. It's hard. It's hard being vegan.
Yeah, I went vegan for 6 months.
Mm.
That's not that long, but it was hard.
It's like a year of figuring out what works for you, and then a lifetime of making that work. You have to find out what foods will get you to the nutritional values you need
Right.
without getting sick, because you ride a pretty fine line between the
Right.
two.
So would you say that was like developed into something religious that you did?
No, I mean they occurred at generally the same time as each other.
Yeah.
And I mean they complement each other in the sense that like veganism is a heavy proponent in Buddhism, but
Are all
Buddhism is the
Buddhists
is the one-
vegans?
Buddhism, I wouldn't even call Buddhism a religion. I call it an ideology,
Okay.
and it's the only ideology that translates and complements with science, to where Buddhists will change their doctrine whenever science proves something that they believed wrong.
Hmm.
So I appreciate that.
Is there a book that you follow?
I mean, there's a couple books, but I don't read them. I follow specific people.
But like, who is Buddha? Is Buddha's the?
Buddha's a chosen person.
Talk to me like I'm a 4-year-old, because I don't know much
So
about
Buddha-
Buddhism.
Buddha it's it's the enlightened one, right?
Okay.
And the enlightened one comes around.
Is that yin and yang? Is that where you get yin and yang?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's
It's also in Taoism and Hinduism. You find yin and yang.
okay. And then so Taoism is the Tao.
Yeah.
That's the book that is
I believe so.
okay. Yeah.
But Buddhism, it's the general idea is that you are connected to everything, and so treat everything respectfully. Everybody, anything that's alive, even objects have karma, and pursue good karma. Don't do bad karma.
Even objects.
Yeah.
So
like
like,
if you disrespected, like it'd be disrespectful, in my opinion. I don't know if normal Buddhists would agree with this, but it'd be disrespectful to the bottle to throw it in the trash and let it. Also disrespectful to the planet.
would it be disrespectful to do one of these things where you take it and you twist it and
The
then
bottle
you
cap.
shoot the
No.
bottle cap? Oh,
My goodness. Almost lost an eye, brother.
eye for an eye. How do you feel about Sharia law? I think we could probably close on that.
All right. It was a pleasure. Thank
Well, I already asked you who your God is. Tune into Jake's episode if you wanna. And I think it'd be cool for us to sit down. You know, just you and I.
Just shoot
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
see
yeah,
what we
yeah,
come
yeah,
up with.
yeah. So
Sure.
Jake, if you could just get out of here.
Just lose the dead weight. We'll be.
Thanks for coming in and chit chatting.
You got it, man.
Yeah. Did you get an update on that story? Did we ever find out about that, Brittany?
What?
That story on the bus?
Trump Biden bus.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have a little meeting afterwards, so.
All right. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Go ahead and just push that end stream button, and we'll end on a hands in the middle. Ready, break.